6 o'clock, MJ Morning Show, Q105, Friday. So, Roxanne, in the last 3 seconds of the show intro, you say, hey, MJ, check this out. And I really couldn't check it out because could you not hear that we're about to start the show and go live?
I have this thing that I do daily on this show. It's called multitasking.
Yeah.
And I thought that you were capable of the same thing, of looking and glancing at my apparatus. I said, check this out. Look at this. It's amazing.
I got to check the knobs and turn the microphones on because literally...
I have so much confidence in you. You do such a good job. Look what's happening, guys.
I have no idea what is this thing?
This is so amazing.
Hang on. Roxanne is holding up some kind of a cylindrical device with silver end caps and a clear glass or plastic cylindrical body, and now there appears to be blue smoke. What?
I'm holding it up to MJTV so that people
Andrew,
can see it. It's
do you have
awesome.
Roxanne's camera on? Is it on? All right. So, okay, I'll bite. What the hell is this thing? Is this just some silly novelty that does nothing but have blue smoke or blue haze rise from the bottom of the water-filled cylinder?
No, this is a molecular hydrogen water fixer. Okay.
What, are you supposed to drink this?
Yes, I'm going to drink it. Yes. And it's going to give me superpowers. No, I was reading the benefits of it, of molecular hydrogen. And it was like athleticism, aerobic capacity.
Where do you buy this?
Longevity.
Where did it come from?
Anti-aging. Say no more. Okay.
Answer my question.
Yes. I got it as a gift.
When?
Yesterday.
Somebody just, on a random Thursday. It wasn't your birthday yesterday,
Doug
was
gave it to me for Valentine's Day.
Oh, well, you got it yesterday. Valentine's Day was Wednesday.
Yeah, it was late. Yeah.
It's a day after Valentine's Day gift?
It is.
And it's a molecular. All right, do you have a brochure on this? Is there a box or?
No, it did come in a box, but I didn't bring the box, but I will Google the box for you so you can see it, or just Google the benefits yourself. And it's like, it can save people's lives. No, I don't want to tout the...
You can't make a medical claim like that.
I don't want to make too many strong medical claims.
Where did the water come from? The toilet?
Yes, I scooped it out of the toilet.
All right, Fester's just sitting here trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Is that a safe assumption or what?
I'm really glad she has a new cup.
So does this not put the Stanley Cups to shame? I mean, forget about the Stanley Cups. They're so 2023. This molecular hydrogenated water, which is really hard to say, by the way, is the new rage.
Molecular hydrogenated water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're coming in hot.
Is it hydrogenated or hydrogenated?
Hydrogenated.
So molecular hydrogenated water. Mm-hmm. So is this tap water, or did you use like some bottled water in there, or did you scoop it out of your kid's like goldfish bowl? Where did you find some puddle water in the street? Where did this water come from?
Sewage water. When I came in, I just dripped it into it. No, I just took this from my fridge. The water is from my fridge, but the people, when they do the video about it, they talk about using, bottled water. Okay, it's done. It's done. Now I can drink it. Look how bubbly and oxygenated, molecularly hydrogenated it is.
It's cloudy now.
Yes. It's delicious. Do you want to smell it?
No, I don't want to. Do I want to smell it? ISO that, would you please? Don't we already have that one? Hang on a second. Don't we already have Roxanne saying, do you want to smell it? Hold on. Let me go to the Roxanne little soundbite page here, which, man, we haven't used those in a while. Let me find the Roxanne page. Hold on. Where the hell is it? Hold on. It's been a while since we've used the... Where is it? I can't find the damn thing. It's still in here, right? I think we might have a... Do you want to smell it? From Roxanne. Hold on a minute.
I like to smell it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Hang on, let me find it. Where the hell are... Oh, here we go. All right, all of the Roxanne ISOs that Roxanne has said on the air, and we've pulled some of these ISOs. Let's refresh our memory with the library.
I'd prefer meth.
There we go. Okay, that's a good one.
Oh,
man.
That's a classic.
That's a classic, yeah. What else?
My kids ate so much candy on Sunday, they were shaking. That's true as of Valentine's Day.
Some good parental skills right there. I know. Oh, no, stop. All right, hang on a minute. All right. Here it is. Listen.
I want to smell it.
That's virtually the same thing. You said, do you want to smell it?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we need that one. So we have this.
I want to smell it.
And if you could, Andrew, add the do you want to smell it? All right, what else do we have?
I didn't take my clothes off.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's fun. I like pain.
All right, yeah.
It's fun. I like pain.
What else?
Fast little fingers.
Yeah.
I want to pee my pants.
Oh, there we go.
I want to pee my pants.
Drink all that water from your hydrogenated, water gimmick.
That's the next thing.
You're drinking this thing. It looks like cloudy. It looks like it's unsafe. It's like cloudy water.
It tastes really fresh. Okay. Do you want some?
No. So what is the source of the hydrogen? Is there a canister in there, or what is producing this thing?
So this little bottom part of the canister, it has a charge thing here. So you just charge it to your wall. You charge it for 2 to 3 hours at night. Yeah. And then somewhere in this silver bottom portion of it, it makes the bubbles.
All right, go ahead and just drink that whole thing, would you please?
I want to pee my pants. Because I'm picturing a big sausage of salami.
Oh, wait a second.
I haven't heard that one. Yeah. I don't even remember saying that.
We're continuing down the list of great Roxanne audio ISOs.
Because I'm picturing a big sausage of salami. Yeah. I've had your banana.
Big sausages and bananas?
Because I'm picturing a big sausage of salami. Yeah. I've had your banana.
What else? Oh, I haven't heard this one in a while. I take my meat. Oh, that's me. I take my meat. That's me. Oh, yeah. That's right. That was jammed in there to throw me off.
I mean, if we would Photoshop him on a really buff guy, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, whatever you do.
Hey guys, I got married.
Oh, that was a blurt. That was the blurt when you announced that you finally got married. Yeah.
Get pounded and get it over with. No, but these are so out of context. Oh, they're cute, but now this is just. I peed in a big gulp cup one time.
That's not out of context.
No, that's
actually
factual.
Very, very, very specific and literal.
Hey, but wait, there's more.
I'll take an extra inch.
Again,
I'll take an extra inch.
I got to get a handle on my wieners. All right, I'm jammed in there again. That's me.
I don't want that stuff around my nipples and around my armpit.
What was that one?
Nobody ever saw nipple or anything like that. These are all out of context. Rub it off. Harder. 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 Okay, stop it. Harder. All right. I've had enough.
Just sit back and drink your hydrogenated water.
All right, so what is this supposed to do for you, this hydrogenated water gimmick?
Okay, so it tells you that it is good for, all I had to hear was anti-aging, and I was like, yeah, I want that. But it provides antioxidants.
Where is the scientific evidence and proof?
I'm reading a story about it right now. Reduces inflammation, reduces oxidative stress, has anti-cancer properties.
Oh, man, this sounds like a bunch of medical claims that like the FDA is going to shut this place down.
Possibly.
At any moment. All right, 6:08, just getting rolling here on a Friday. The weekend is straight ahead. And Pat's got traffic here on the MJ Morning Show. Back in minutes.
Well, since about 5.
And there's the MJ Morning Show. It's Q105. MJ here, Fester, Roxanne, Froggy, Friday show. Now, Roxanne just walked in and said, hey, guess what else I have? I know, I just kind of teased that. And it's the kiwi test. But, Roxanne, it doesn't make sense. We want to do the kiwi test on consecutive broadcast days, and you just said, hey, I brought the kiwis in today. I don't think that makes sense.
Well, I think it makes the most sense because when we read the story, it said 4 days in a row until you start to feel good from kiwis, right?
Right. So
I'm going to feed Fester 4 today. I'm going to send him home with 4 more tomorrow.
No. Hold on a minute. Bring up, I don't have the story right in front of me.
The story wasn't that you had to eat 4 kiwis a day, but based on Fester's body weight, we're giving him 4 kiwis. And
the story was eating kiwis over 4 days, and then I brought up the fact that if I eat a kiwi, my face blows up like Will Smith in the movie Hitch.
I saved one for you, too.
That's like the only thing on the planet I'm allergic to from a food standpoint. You know, if I eat a kiwi, and sometimes even if kiwi touches like another fruit, I can't think of anything else food-wise that I'm allergic to. But the last time I tried kiwi was probably, 2024. It's probably maybe 6 years ago, 7 years. And I just tried a little bit. And then my tongue started like stinging and tingling. And then I got this like scratchy feeling and like my throat was closing in. I don't know what the hell it is about kiwi. But also I read that if you're allergic to kiwi, that you're likely to be allergic to a list of other like food items. And that's not true. That doesn't come to fruition, or that doesn't come to fruition in this particular case.
You're a medical anomaly.
Yeah, and I kind of joked around, hey, you guys want to see me eat kiwi live on the air? I mean, I could collapse and go into like anaphylactic shock. So I'm staying away from kiwi. But the point was that, Fester, do you have the kiwi story up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to the headline. Kiwi can improve your mental health in just 4 days, study finds. But I don't know if we want to start it today because we can't trust Fester to eat kiwi Saturday, tomorrow,
That's a good point.
Sunday. We need to do it and monitor it. Yes. Roxanne, are you not grasping this? We need to be able to do this live on the air and monitor this and have Fester eat kiwi on Monday. Yes, we are live on Monday. President's Day, Schmesident's Day. We're live. I mean, how can I take Monday off? I mean, many people are working Monday. I mean, I just came off of a 2-week Indonesian vacation. I'm going to take Monday off? No. All right, we're all here. We're live on Monday. The MJ Morning Show is live. So on Monday, we should start Fester with kiwi number 1. Or if you want to double up, or it sounds like you want to quadruple up.
It suddenly sounds like a lot of kiwi.
Yeah, that's too much kiwi. So I'm thinking that just one whole kiwi. We have him eat number 1 on Monday, number 2 on Tuesday, number 3 on Wednesday, number 4 on Thursday, and then we see on Friday whether Fester's mental health has gotten better. Listen, this all came about because I found this story. I saw this somewhere while doing my show prep, and we have noticed that Fester's become a little ornery and grumpy.
Absolutely not. I don't appreciate this slander.
All right,
this is ridiculous.
Froggy.
This is a bunch of crap.
Froggy.
Sure, yeah. You guys, I'm surrounded by
happy people.
No.
Anuses. Hey, hang on, Fester. Just
what'd you call us?
Yeah, all of you guys.
Did you say anuses?
Yeah.
I don't want to be an anus.
You are.
Well,
all of
Fester,
you.
come on.
This is a terrible.
I'm going
to do nothing but sabotage this entire
segment.
segment.
Oh my God, this is like the man bra that I wanted to.
Listen,
oh boy,
bunch of dicks.
All right, Fester,
me too.
seriously.
Me too.
Yes, I quit. Take a kiwi.
All right, Froggy, has Fester become more ornery in the last 6 months or so?
I'd say the last 2 years.
Yeah, more observational, more because I don't agree with you all the time. Ooh.
I'd say the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just saying that let's test it out. Roxanne, when did you buy the kiwis? Yesterday?
Yeah, actually, I bought them 2 days ago. But here's the thing:
what do you give them? Rotted kiwis?
What's the shelf life on a kiwi? I don't know.
You know what? They kind of get mushy, and I'm not a real expert on kiwis since
Can't eat them.
Since if I eat them, it looks like I've been stung by 1,000 bees. So I'm not an expert on kiwi shelf life and freshness. But Roxanne, you might want to just pick up some fresh kiwis Sunday night, and then Monday, or maybe we buy one every day. I mean, the Publix is right down the street here from the complex.
You guys make a trip to the grocery store every single day on the way to work. That sounds like really efficient way to do that. I have this box here. I'll eat them all this weekend. If you don't want them, I'll be in a great mood on Monday. My thought process.
Oh, you have them there? Show me.
Yeah, you're on fire today, kid.
Show me the kiwi.
Shelf life.
All right.
There?
Yeah, I
Big
see
batch?
it. Yeah, it's like the plastic container where they put like half a dozen kiwis into the.
Look how cute.
And they're not at all mushy yet.
So
So
they're-
they're firm.
They're firm. Is there a date? Is there like a sell-by date?
No, there's
No?
not. No, we
Ripe
don't do that.
kiwis can last 5 to 10 days in the refrigeration.
Okay,
All
so
right.
I'll throw these in the
Yeah.
refrigerator.
Throw those in the fridge here. Put them in the fridge, and then Monday morning we'll start Fester on Kiwi 1. Tuesday morning, Kiwi 2. Then Wednesday, then Thursday, and we'll see if Fester's mental health improves and if he's less grumpy by Friday of next week.
The only thing
Okay.
making me grumpy is you guys talking about how grumpy I am. You guys have a happy life. You guys are just so weird.
So let's start it right now. Oh, okay.
And
I like your.
This is science.
It is science.
Science!
This isn't science.
It is science.
This is crap.
Dude, go back to the story. Listen to me. Go back to the original story here.
All right, hold on. Let me go back.
Just
And
hit the back page.
while
All right,
you go back-
go to the headline. Scroll up to the top. Again, this fruit can improve your mental health in just 4 days, according to a brand new study.
What kind of mental health? Like people who are about to commit suicide?
An apple is no longer the preferred fruit for deterring doctor's visits. That whole apple a day keeps the doctor away. New Zealand scientists, which you think that's a little fishy since
Yeah.
kiwis originated from New Zealand. You think this is like
Pushing
some
it.
kind of a ploy to try to jack up New Zealand kiwi sales?
It worked
Yeah, their
with
gross
Ro-
domestic product. Yes.
Is this like scandalous? Anyway, they found that eating a kiwi can boost one's mood in as little as 4 days, according to a brand new study published in the British Journal of Nutrition. So we're going to do the kiwi test starting Monday here on the MJ Morning Show.
That's some riveting radio right there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you want to make it, I see what you're doing now, MJ. I see why you're doing it because we can't trust him to eat the kiwi. But I'm just saying.
We have to monitor him, yes.
Yeah, you want to monitor him. But I'm saying if you want to eat one today, Fester, and we can trust you to eat
No,
over the
no,
weekend,
no,
and then
that's
we'll
the
know by
point. We
Tuesday.
can't.
I
No.
didn't trust me.
No, we can't. That's the point. He has to be monitored.
Yeah.
Every day, Fester's eating his kiwi
Exactly. We have to
again.
watch him eat the kiwi live. What are you new?
Yeah, I'm not going to eat a kiwi over the weekend.
You think
I don't want 4 days in a row of eating kiwis. I don't think that's riveting. But if you were to eat one today, 2 over the weekend, one on Monday, by
the
Tuesday,
point
that's
is that
payoff.
we can't. In fact, what are you saying? We can't rely on Fester to eat the kiwis at home on Saturday or Sunday.
That's right.
It's like a pee test if you got to take a drug test for your job.
Right.
You know, you have to be somewhat monitored so you don't go in there with, Aunt Lydia's clean pee and try to pass it off as your own. You know, you got to be monitored.
If we can't trust you to eat a kiwi, what can we trust you to do?
Nothing. That's the
Nothing.
point.
Don't trust me with anything.
Even he says that. You
Don't
can't trust him with anything.
No. I show up, I make a couple of mediocre jokes, and I leave. That's it.
And you're being more ornery than ever.
So are you.
No, I'm not. I
See how
am
defensive
not.
you get? See how defensive you get? It's
I
an
am-
undefensible accusation.
I am happy-go-lucky.
MJ, no, I say the same thing, and you say no. MJ is being a miserable curmudgeon lately.
No, I'm not.
Have you noticed that, guys? Have you noticed MJ's being so miserable? No, I'm not. I'm in the same position.
I'm not a miserable curmudgeon lately.
It's an undefendable position to be in.
Indefensible?
Indefensible.
Both of them. MJ
Right.
MJ has just been so weird.
I
lately,
have
hasn't
not
he?
been
See,
weird.
you can't
All right,
mount
Roxanne.
a defense against it.
Roxanne, have I been
Then
weird?
you get
and,
the mob mentality.
have I been weird and curmudgeon-y lately? Absolutely not.
I think that everyone in this room is on a trajectory,
See?
and we're all on a fast path to weird and curmudgeon.
You can't defend it.
All
you
of
know.
us.
All right,
Oh,
hey,
you're being very angry lately. You're not being a team player lately.
Froggy. Fester, my God. All right, Froggy,
Yes.
are we doing a truth booth today? We were supposed to do it yesterday, but you called in sick at 3:30 yesterday morning.
I'm still sick, actually.
Are you serious? You come into the studio sick?
Good for you.
Well, what do you want me to do? Stay home?
Yes. I mean, you know what? You don't sound right either.
Yeah.
I don't feel so hot today.
Okay,
Oh
what
my
kind of
God.
sick? What kind of sick?
Oh
Like,
my God, I'm all congested and I have a cough that is killing me.
Did you take a COVID test?
No.
Dude,
Oh my God.
Dude, you should eat
I was
kiwi.
sweaty last night.
Holy dude, COVID is running rampant all over the place.
No.
You don't have COVID. You don't have COVID.
How
But
do
I
you
will
know?
tell
How
you
can you make that
I was
statement?
so sweaty
you know-
last night.
You know why? Because what he's describing. Do you know that I was sick pretty much the whole darn time you were in Indonesia? I still came to work every day because I would have the sweatiness and the fever on the weekend. So it's like a kid. Do you send them to school when they have a fever? No. But if you have a cough or runny nose, you still have to go to school. So, Froggy, you're probably going to need antibiotics. I tried to push it, and I couldn't beat
I'm
it myself.
Did you go get antibiotics?
I finally did. I just finished them today.
Froggy, just eat a kiwi.
Froggy, that's not fair for you to come in here feeling bad and coughing, and you had the,
I know, I
you had the
shouldn't
night
have.
sweats last night, and you roll in here. What,
It's not fair to me.
Infect us in the shoebox-sized hellhole of a studio?
Do you have
My
a fever?
God.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
If
Doesn't
you have-
matter. I'm here.
If you have a fever, you shouldn't be here. But
Do you take your temperature?
I got a fever.
No.
I don't know.
Other way.
Oh.
Forehead's not reliable.
Roxanne, can you go over there and feel him? I mean, you're
You're
the-
get sick.
You're the
I've
mom.
been
and
sick.
Just touch his forehead. Do the mommy thing on Froggy.
Mommy, I feel good.
Go feel.
I actually kiss my kids' heads.
Oh, you kiss your kids'
Just,
heads?
Your hand's very cold.
Your lips.
All right, go back to your microphone. Roxanne, you just felt Froggy's forehead.
That was very
Does-
motherly.
Does it feel like he might have a fever?
Not a bit. No,
Okay,
he's
all
fine.
right.
He's fine.
All right, 6. I might have a thermometer in the car.
Oh, let's put it in my butt.
All right, 6:32 at the MJ Morning Show. Hey, great pile of early morons in the news next. That's right. Morons in the news, minutes away. MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Now, The early morons in the news on the MJ Morning Show on a Friday. What's that old expression? What was that, Alice? When I was a kid, what was that old CBS show when I was like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old? CBS, was it like Alice?
So Alice was the waitress at Mel's place in Arizona.
Mel's Diner. Mel's Diner,
right,
but the show was called Alice, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And remember that the waitress named Flo used to say, "Kiss my grits." Remember that?
Yeah.
Get back to work, Flo. Shut up.
Yeah, man, I can just remember,
Mel.
having the TV on in my bedroom. I'm doing homework. Let's see. What year was that? Hey, go to, do me a favor, just for the hell of it,
Alice
for my old memory edification.
That's pretty bougie of you to have a TV in your bedroom.
Yeah, well,
at that young age.
It was a little black and white GE deal, I think. But
I used to like Mel's weird hat.
Alice TV series, 76 to 85?
Wow, a 9-year run. That's
that's pretty good. So Alice, the TV show, was on 1976 to 1985, and I just have like this memory, sitting in my bedroom in Virginia Beach. So in 76, 77, I'm like in 6th grade or something, and just doing homework. I just remember like some of those old TV shows just being on in the room. And listen, in retrospect, I don't know why the hell my parents allowed me to have a TV in my bedroom. We never allowed our kids growing up. Chloe and Julian here in Tampa Bay, of course, my kids were born right here in Tampa at St. Joe's Women's, and we never allowed them to have TVs in their rooms ever. I mean, now they do, but now, Julian, just comes home. He was in boarding school for a number of years, and now he's at college. But he has a TV in his bedroom. Chloe, just graduated college. There is a TV in her bedroom, and Chloe's here for some time because she's now studying for the LSAT. But I don't know why my parents allowed me to have a TV in my bedroom. Is that like bad parenting?
Yeah, They didn't care about you.
Yeah,
that was your parents' way of getting rid of you for a little while.
All right, but the reason why, what am I talking about? Why did I bring up Alice? Because Flo used to say, kiss my grits. And for whatever reason, when I saw this morons in the news story, that's what popped in my head. That old, TV nostalgia. Kiss my grits. Because woman 28 busted for bashing her mother with grits.
What's a grit?
Yeah. The female victim, 64, was covered in grits when the cops showed up after the 911 call. An argument over kitchen usage turned violent earlier this week when Jaquila Mobley, 28, grabbed some of the grits being cooked by her mother and smashed her in the face with the grits. The victim, Illa Johnson, told police that Mobley had been drinking and using drugs, and that when she does this, she becomes aggressive. Johnson added that she did not want to contact the police since this was a matter was juvenile at its core. Sheriff's deputy who responded from the Ocala Police Department, they responded to the Ocala residence and noted that he observed dried grits on the side of the woman's face, as well as matching grits on the kitchen counter and a nearby dustpan. Anyway, Mobley, I'm looking at her mugshot, and she's all smirking and in the mugshot. She was arrested for battery, misdemeanor, booked into the Marion County Jail. Last I saw, she was still being held in lieu of a $2,500 bond.
So she didn't hit her with cooked grits.
It appears to be the box of powdered, uncooked, raw grits. Mobley, when the police showed up, when the Ocala police showed up, she told them that she'd been sleeping on the streets and that she has multiple battery arrests, apparently. No convictions, though. Interesting. So how do you get arrested for battery multiple times and nothing results in a conviction? That's interesting. But kiss my grits. I mean, that was quite literally. Fester's.
I think I found it.
You think if you go ahead, hit it.
Tell her she can kiss my grits.
Classic. Funny. Still to this day, it holds up.
There you go. Now,
are you a grit guy?
I like grits. Yeah.
Okay.
And I like the shrimp and grits. The New Orleans inspired shrimp and grits dish. And if someone can make some good shrimp and grits, I'm all in on that. Absolutely. All right, moving along. Early morons in the news here on the MJ Morning Show. Man, the Villages, man. We got an Ocala story with grits. Now let's head up to the Villages. And we have a gentleman who allegedly blocked a vehicle that was illegally parked in a handicap spot. So you have somebody with a legitimate handicap parking placard on their car, dangling from the rearview mirror, is pulling into a parking lot and then notices that somebody is utilizing the handicap spot that doesn't have the appropriate pass or DMV issued handicap parking, hang tag, placard, whatever you want to call it. So listen to this. The guy legitimately has a handicapped placard. He gets pissed off because he's pulling into the parking lot and notices that someone's utilizing a spot that doesn't have it. He blocks him in, prevents them from leaving. Guess what? The handicapped complainer guy, he's actually arrested.
Oh, for parking in a way that you're not supposed to, I guess.
You're not listening.
Yeah, no, you said he blocked him in.
Blocked him in.
Yeah, but right. So then his car is in a...
No, but he blocked the person in.
Right. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, okay, all right. So he was arrested for causing a scene, and then he called 911.
Causing a scene is now a charge.
No. Well, he blocked another driver in that was illegally, inappropriately using the handicap spot. So the dude blocks the other guy in. The police show up, and you can't block somebody in like that. I mean, what is because that happened at the laundromat.
Yeah.
Remember, what is it, like a false imprisonment situation?
There you go. I was trying to think. I kept thinking endangerment, but imprisonment.
The police show up to the scene, and guess what? The angry handicapped guy who blocked in the other driver, he then calls 911 to complain about the responding officers. This guy's a piece of work. Yeah, Fox 35 in Orlando reported that 39-year-old Nicholas Taylor of the Villages faces charges of disorderly intoxication and misuse of 911 after he caused a scene at the Wawa on US 27 in Lady Lake. Yeah, the Lady Lake Police Department said in an affidavit obtained by the station that Taylor called 911 after he noticed the vehicle was parked in a handicap spot, didn't have the permit. He marched into the store, caused a scene inside, blocked the guy in. The police, I wouldn't expect this to be a 39-year-old guy. I'd expect this to be like a 79-year-old guy,
A curmudgeon.
Yeah, I mean, you just, you hear a 39-year-old guy, it just changes the dynamics of the story. But you can't block somebody in. You don't make a scene. Here, this guy's complaining. He ends up getting arrested, and that's why we call it early morons in the news here on the MJ Morning Show. 6:50. Froggy, are we going to do a truth booth today? Are you ready to go with that or no?
I'm probably going to go home.
Are you serious?
I just puked.
Oh, great.
Oh, no.
Why are you in the studio potentially infecting us?
I thought it would be a good thing to do.
And I just came over and rubbed your head.
Well, I told you not to.
He did say that.
Hey, can you pull that ISO, please? Let's add that to the page.
Oh, come on. Sexualize everything.
I'm not saying
it's Roxanne. It's her.
We've got the Roxanne page. I just came over and rubbed your head.
Oh.
All right. So, are you leaving?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, guys, I don't know if this is going to, I'm sorry that you're not feeling well, but I don't know if this is going to change, but I did change what you're going to do. But I did text you guys yesterday at 4 p.m. and said I have to leave today at 8:10.
Oh, you have to leave. What?
I texted you that.
What? Hold it. You're giving us.
Well, I guess I'll stay.
Just the day before, you're letting us know you're leaving at 8:10.
Medical issue.
Yeah, something popped up.
All right.
She got a 9 o'clock appointment. She's got to go.
All right. Are you okay?
Yes. You know what? I was thinking about this. You guys are so forthright with all of your medical issues. Yeah. I don't know why that is. You talk about your kidney stones. You talk about your Peyronie's disease, your micro, your myasthenia gravitas. You talk about everything. You're very open about everything. And
I talk about mine.
Excuse me. And so I was thinking that I'm not going to share this information because, on a woman, everything in your torso, anything happening in your torso just feels private.
All right, listen, I'm not going to pry. So you have to leave at 8:10, and then if Froggy's going to walk out because he doesn't feel well, that's going to leave me with just Fester.
And the way I've been so angry lately, I don't know how we'll possibly survive. All right, you guys do whatever you want to do. Somehow, the show will matter.
Yeah, you know what? Somehow the show will go on. 7 o'clock hour starts next on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. We are here on Monday. We'll explain coming up. I got an email from the scheduler that does all the commercial scheduling. Hey, are you guys going to be live on Monday? Yes, we're going to be live on Monday. I'm not taking President's Day off after I just took 2 weeks off to go scuba diving in Indonesia. 6:52 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. We're back in minutes. Stand by. International. 7:02 at the MJ Morning Show. Froggy has left the building. So Froggy lasted about an hour this morning.
Yeah, just about.
I wish Froggy the best. Hopefully, he doesn't feel well. He was out yesterday. I think he's out all next week. My God, he gets more vacation and sick time than I get. It's truly amazing. It's remarkable. Now, listen, all kidding aside, this studio is the size of like a Tylenol. So, hopefully he's not like infected us. I mean, we've got no airflow in here. It is hot and stuffy. Froggy apparently hurled several times this morning. I'm like 4.5 feet away from his face. So hopefully he didn't transmit any of this mung to us.
He really didn't get into what was the ailment other than being sick inside. I don't know.
So Froggy has vacated the building.
Right.
And then seriously, I think he's out all next week. I think he's doing his, his real job, his shelving business. We had a truth booth scheduled for yesterday, and then I guess we were going to do it today. And now we got no truth booth, and even next week, he's not going to be here. So I don't a week and change, I guess Froggy will be back with the truth booth.
We'll miss him for a week.
Oh, but I just hope he didn't give us anything in here. This is just a really kind of tight environment in this particular studio. As you know, I've complained for a very long time about. Hey, do you remember when you were in high school? And I'm sure this is the same on game days. Football games in high school were typically Friday nights. The whole Friday Night Lights thing. That was based on like Texas high school football, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So the whole Friday thing. Now, when I was in high school, and I went to Cox High School in Virginia Beach, I was the class of '84. So during the fall and the high school football games, on Fridays, what do you remember happening during the school day on Fridays during football season? Anything?
Pep rally, right?
What's that voice you just did?
I was trying to sneak it in, sneak it in real fast while you were taking a breath.
All right. So, I mean, listen, we had pep rallies, I guess, but those weren't typically every Friday. But one of the things I remember, and I think this is pretty typical, is that all of the football players wore their jersey on Fridays. Fester, when you were at the Dixie Holland.
Yes, I was on the football team. I was the worst player on the entire team. I finished last place in the all-county rankings in my position.
What position did you play?
I was a left tackle, and they ran every play to the right.
And you went to...
I was the worst player. I was team comedian. I was worst player.
So you went to Dixie Holland.
Yes.
Is it Hollings or Hollins?
Hollins.
Hollins.
Yes.
Hollins?
Yes.
All right. So you went to... But they also... Didn't they drop the Dixie?
They did. A couple of years ago, they chopped the Dixie right off.
So but we still have Winn-Dixie.
It's amazing, yes.
We have Winn-Dixie.
We have Dixie Cups.
Exactly. So
Can we whistle Dixie?
Yeah, you
our
can.
mascot was the Rebels, which didn't help anything.
Oh, that didn't work very well.
So
in the politically correct times that we're in these days. All right. So
on Fridays, on game day,
when do they drop the Dixie?
I think in the middle of all this wokeness, like in 2020 or something. Maybe 2021.
So they dropped the old Dixie. All right.
Yeah.
So am I correct that when you were in high school that the football players all wore the football jerseys on Friday?
Yes.
But also, what else do you remember? What else do you remember? Come on.
I don't think the cheerleaders wore their cheerleaders wore their outfits too.
That's the other thing I'm looking for.
I'm trying to think. Cheerleaders wore their things.
Going back to the 80s when I was in high school, all of the cheerleaders, they wore. Now, when I went to high school at Cox High School in Virginia Beach, we not only had the full-blown cheerleaders and the elite squad of cheerleaders at Cox High School in Virginia Beach on Great Neck Road, but we also had the second-tier cheerleaders, and they were called the Coquettes. So you had the mainline cheerleaders, and then you had the Coquettes.
Okay.
And they had different uniforms, and they also wore their cheerleading outfits to school on Fridays during football season.
But they got all coked up before they did their routine, so they were like,
they didn't.
The Coquettes, yeah.
They did.
The Coquettes got all coked up.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm bringing this up, it just doesn't make any sense. A school in Michigan has told the cheerleaders to cover up while wearing their cheerleader uniforms at school. So the cheerleader uniforms are approved for the cheerleaders to wear, but for them to wear them during school hours, that was inappropriate.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, the dress code for school is different than what the dress code is for extracurricular stuff. I mean, the volleyball team.
Dude, listen.
I understand.
If the cheerleaders are able to wear the cheerleader outfit at the sporting events or at a school pep rally, why wouldn't they be able to wear the cheerleading outfit during regular school hours, as we've just illustrated? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Not only was I the worst football player, I was also the worst person on the wrestling team for 1 year. You want me to walk around school in my wrestling singlet? I mean, it's not dress code. I get it.
The reason why I'm bringing this up, at a school in Michigan where it's still a tradition, a high school cheerleader was told to cover up when she wore her uniform during the school day. Amanda Alberg told reporters that her daughter, Mariana, Marianah, how do you pronounce that? Mariana, Maria, so Maria is a varsity cheerleader at a local high school where the athletes are instructed to wear their uniforms on game day. I mean, this hasn't changed. I mean, this has been like this for forever. And then she's got an official school cheerleading outfit that she wore to school on a game day, and she's told, "Oh, you got to cover up." Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Let Maria and then wear her outfit.
That's just stupid. All right, let me ask you a question. If you call your mother booger face, booger face, what kind of a reaction would you expect that to elicit?
I mean,
what do you think, Fester?
I mean, it depends on the humor of the mother.
And it also depends on the era. Back in the day, you might get slapped, right?
I'm looking at the police report. This happened right here in Safety Harbor. And she's in trouble. Mom was called booger face by her son, and we don't know the age of the son. That is not included in the police arrest affidavit. But the kid called mom booger face. By the way, mom does not have custody of the kid. So there are some larger issues at play here. But the mother freaked out, attacked the child, smacked the kid, breaking the glasses on the kid's face, cuts on his face. Mom was arrested on a felony abuse charge. I'm looking at the arrest affidavit right now. Betty Jean Union, 46 years old, was pissed off because her son called her booger face and smacked him across his face with a partially open hand. Caused the glasses on the victim to break and a small laceration on the defendant's right cheek and inside his upper lip. Happened on Tuesday this week in Safety Harbor, right here in the Tampa Bay area. I'm looking at Union's mugshot right now. She was arrested on a felony child abuse charge, booked into the Pinellas County Jail. She was released on her own recognizance the day after.
Did they give her some tissues or anything?
Well, a judge ordered Union to have no contact with the child. She was allowed a one-time visit in the presence of police to retrieve her belongings from the residence. But it doesn't say, the redacted affidavit, obviously protecting some of the privacy of the child, it does not say how old the kid was, but apparently Union, the mother of the boy, does not have custody of him. So obviously there are problems there. But booger face, come on, really? Mom can't take a little poking? You know, the kid... Well, I'm guessing the kid's, 8, 9 years old or something?
Maybe.
Calling mom booger face?
Younger than that.
Then mom freaks out and smacks the kid, busts his glasses on his face?
And I'm looking at her mugshot, and she really does look like a booger face.
Yeah. Hey, Roxanne, have your kids ever called you booger face, and what would you do in that instance?
No, they never have. But, I mean, we would get a stern talking to if it was in a real disrespectful manner. If it was just like a teasing manner, it's like, yeah, that's taking it too far, kids. You just have to see what kind of context it was used in. But I will tell you, I would be less bothered by one of my kids calling me booger face than by them eating their boogers, which I.
Oh my God! What is the? Hold on a minute.
It's funny we're talking about this.
How do you go from being called booger face to that?
Because last night I'm sitting there next to Daviana reading her book, and I saw her do it, and I go, "What did you just do?" Are you
serious?
My older daughter did it too. Yeah. I thought I was going to have, be one of each. One that wasn't.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
One
really?
That wasn't, but they both are. They both were.
Hold on, you're outing your kids live on the air for eating boogers yesterday?
I never did that. It's something I cannot relate to. I don't know what's wrong with them.
Wait a minute. So your two kids, one is 6 and one is 4?
Yeah, I think the 6-year-old has stopped. Obviously, she doesn't do that anymore.
Wait a minute, you just told me she did it yesterday.
No, the 4-year-old.
I thought you said they both ate.
Yeah, the 6-year-old did when she was younger. Right. She's grown out of that.
How have we digressed?
Because we were talking about boogers. It was a very natural transition.
No, it's not a natural transition. I'm talking about a mother that beat up her son because the son called her booger face. I didn't think that was an open invitation for you to talk about your kid eating boogers at the table last night.
Well, I can't relate to having been called booger face, but I can relate to being irritated because my daughter's got her finger up her nose and then eating it.
Yeah. Just building an immune system. Yeah. That's what it's doing.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, your kids didn't do that? I'm happy
you know what? I don't recall catching my kids, partaking in the booger snack pack.
I thought it was more of a boy thing, but apparently not.
Oh, man. All right. You just threw me for a loop. I mean, just out of nowhere. I didn't expect that.
Maybe this person really is a booger face and the kid just hit too close to home.
Yeah, that could be.
When we get back, 7:14. Folks, I apologize. And then, Roxanne, you're leaving in less than an hour?
Yes.
You're walking out at 8:10?
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
All right. 7:14 at the MJ Morning Show. Next, we start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. Now, when we get back, one of the things I want to address, the receipt checking at like Walmart. We've all been to Walmart, you check out, and then they have the person checking your receipt at Walmart. This is introducing a very big controversy, and I'll explain all of it coming up in just a matter of minutes. And it's actually an interesting segue after the Walmart receipt check at the front door. An interesting subsequent story that we'll get into in just a matter of minutes. So hold on. An hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ starts next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. MJ and the crew, well, minus Froggy. We're soon going to be minus Roxanne, who is going to leave at 8:10. Froggy rolled out sick a short time ago. Fester, before I get into the Walmart story, and this is an interesting little can of worms, and I think this could make for a very fascinating discussion on do people abide? Do you have to abide? And I've got an audio chunk from this lady, and man, she's ticked off. I'll explain in just a matter of moments. First, though, were you caught up in this traffic mess with the hot load?
Yeah, I was. I was all tangled up in it.
When was this? What time yesterday was this?
This happened yesterday during afternoon drive.
Oh, man.
And I was at General RV yesterday till 6 o'clock, and I hit the road, and the interstate is just jammed.
And the hot load that we're referring to is a garbage truck caught on fire, and it was on 75 near, I guess, Fletcher, right?
Yeah.
So I-75 near Fletcher. Was this like a city truck, or was it like a waste management truck? Do we know what it was?
I ended up not passing it. I ended up taking back roads, which was not any better. But this a big garbage truck. I don't know if it was like a waste management truck or the blue trucks that the city uses. Or
I saw on one of the local news shows, I saw like an overhead chopper shot, and I didn't quite see the logo on the side of the vehicle. But vehicle fire, major traffic delays yesterday. Like most of the lanes were blocked. And this was, again, was it north or southbound?
So it was northbound.
Right.
So everything coming off of the interstate was, I-4 was backed up. The northbound 75 was backed up. It was just a mess. And it took me like an hour and a half to get from Dover to L.A.
Oh, that's...
it was a long drive home.
By the way, L.A. is the Lutz area.
Yeah, the Lutz area, right. L.A., yeah. I live in the valley.
Yeah, Fessel lives in L.A., yeah. So I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry that your day was extended by a trash truck fire. What is the number one cause of a trash truck fire?
So here's a couple of ideas, or I don't know if the actual truck caught fire, like there was a fire in the cab or in the engine, or if there was a fire in the load.
In the load. I mean, typically, I think it's the load that goes up.
Well, the way to remedy it, I thought we read or...
Roxanne, why are you smirking every time I say load?
Because I'm childish. I'm very childish. I can't do the story. It's terrible. I'm sorry about this, but hot load is just like all funny to me.
Hot load. All right.
So,
hot load.
The way to solve it immediately is to drop your hot load and to empty all the... That's what you do. As a trash truck driver, you have to drop all of your cargo, which is trash, and let it burn out on the pavement.
I'll get to the Walmart receipt story in just a matter of moments here. First, though, Andrew says I got to grab line 1. Good morning, MJ Morning Show. Who's this?
Well, this is Matthew in Tampa.
Well, Matthew in Tampa, I'm not quite sure why I'm putting you on the air. Just Andrew, our producer, says, hey, grab line 1. All right, well, Matthew, why are you calling in this morning?
This is great content, MJ. Roxanne's got a birthday coming up. A big birthday. Roxanne, what are you going to do for your birthday?
Well, I think I'm actually maybe just going to call in sick. So thanks for outing me.
Roxanne, I just want to tell you look great, and there's no qualifier, no negging, okay?
Now, hang on a minute. When is your birthday? And hang on. Hold on. Caller, your name is Matthew?
Right.
Matthew, how do you know what Roxanne's birthday is?
Well, I did a little research.
Did a little internet stalking, Matthew. Sounds like.
Hold on. Do you have a Wikipedia page, Roxanne?
No, but I think you can go to Facebook. I don't know if it's on. No, you know what? I don't put my birthday on Facebook.
When is your birthday? Is it this month?
Yeah, it's in February.
What day is your birthday?
You don't have to worry about that. You don't know.
It's not
your.
Hold on a minute.
You're not into like. I'm the one who keeps up.
Hold on. You just said I don't need to worry about it.
You don't need to worry about it. I'm the person. Listen. I'm the person who reminds you. Hey, don't forget it's Froggy's birthday. Hey, I send you a little message in your show prep. Hey, by the way, Andrew's birthday's on Monday.
So wait a minute. You want to remind me of everyone else's birthday, but you're not going to tell us when your birthday. That doesn't make sense.
Well, it does because I'm a woman and you guys just get gray and more distinguished, and as a woman you just don't want to get older. So I'm not really that excited about it.
The actual day of your birth is irrelevant.
Oh, I know.
What is the day of your birthday?
I'm May 23rd.
I'm leap year. I'm a leap year baby. So actually, we can celebrate it this year.
No, you're not. Are you real?
Close to it.
No,
pretty close to it.
But you're not a leap year. What is your birthday?
February 27th.
What is the problem with just telling us what day you were born?
You know I'm cagey about everything with you, MJ.
So we should have like a Roxanne birthday present marathon or something.
We ought to get a hold of the cake girl and have the cake girl.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, I might not be here on my birthday. Seriously. I might
Hold
just
on,
call in
what?
sick. Yeah, I might just call in sick. I haven't decided yet.
You can't call in sick on your birthday.
Oh, boy.
What day does your birthday fall on? Roxanne's
It's a
birthday
Tuesday,
is
I
a
think.
Tuesday.
The 27th of February is a Tuesday.
I'll see you on Tuesday. I'll see you that Tuesday.
See you next. Oh boy, let's.
Roxanne, you still look good.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. You look good for your age. That's such a sweet thing to say. Thank you.
Can I point out that Matthew went from great to good?
Yeah.
Did he? Yeah, we're degrading. As I approach that day, it's just I'm all downhill.
If I keep Matthew on the air, it's going to be fair and just it's going to be.
You look alive.
It's going to be fair in just a matter of moments.
Matthew, I know Roxanne appreciates the validation from creepy callers, so thank you very much.
Matthew, thanks. Wait a minute. Now,
thanks for the call,
now
Matthew.
Andrew wants me to take line 4 with information on trash truck fires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, back to that.
Let's get back to hot loads.
Yeah, so if you got stuck in traffic on 75 yesterday because of the trash truck fire, hot load. Randy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Then I'm going to get into the Walmart receipt issue. Randy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning, MJ. How are you?
All right, so I'm great. How did trash truck fire start?
We've been having a whole lot more hot loads here lately because.
Are you in the waste disposal business?
Yeah, I've been in the business for 25 years. Yeah.
Who do you work for?
For the city of St. Petersburg.
All right, so city of St. Pete. So you know what you're talking about, I guess. Are you in the waste management department in St. Pete?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, well, listen, this guy knows what he's talking about. So you just said that you've had a higher amount or an increase in these these trash truck fires. Why?
Yes, because people throw away these lithium-ion batteries that are rechargeable, like in vacuums or, in laptops. And when they go in the truck and get compressed, they break open, they get hot, and they catch the load inside the truck on fire.
All right, so you think that a very high percentage of the trash truck fires these days are people throwing away lithium-ion battery products?
Correct. Yep.
Wow.
City of Tampa has the same problem. Waste management has the same problem. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the scariest thing is if someone has a lithium-ion battery in the checked luggage on an airplane. That I can't believe that has not been a problem, and that's scary as hell. That if somebody has a lithium-ion battery checked in their luggage and it has some kind of chemical reaction and it causes it to burst into flames underneath the airplane. That just scares the crap out of me. We've had lithium-ion batteries in laptop computers and other products. They've caught on fire in the cabin, and you're able to extinguish it. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the air crews, the flight attendants, they have, if I'm not mistaken, like a battery fire bag, or they have they've got a fire suppression blanket. I believe it's part of the emergency kit on American, airlines planes, not like America, but U.S. airlines, I believe have like a fire bag to put like a cell phone or a laptop or an iPad that might burst into flames. Or, everyone carries those battery banks these days. Those like Anchor battery banks, those are all lithium ion. So if I'm not mistaken, most U.S. airlines now, they have fire suppression blankets or pouches in order to put these devices that might burst into flames in the cabin into.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the biggest word of advice is don't put those batteries in the garbage. There's plenty of other ways to dispose of them. I think Best Buy and all these other electronic places, they take them. You can just recycle them there. I
think that's a great thing. Listen, for instance, I just went diving and I went through a number of batteries, lithium ions. One of the dive computers that I use, well, actually, I've got 2 Shearwater computers for diving, and one is a watch called the Terek. That's a built-in battery, but my second computer is a Shearwater Perdix 2, and that is a user-changeable AA battery, and they recommend that you use the Energizer lithiums. And, on my trip just to Indonesia, I went through, I did 42 dives. And I went through I did 3 battery changes. And, listen, I tossed the batteries. I mean, what?
Right there in the ocean?
Well, no, I put them in the trash bucket in the hotel room, at the dive resort. But, you wonder, is that battery going to... So, essentially... A battery that I tossed away could end up in a trash truck in Indonesia and catch a fire, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Catch it on fire and burn it up. Yeah.
Oh, damn. All right, but thanks, Randy.
All right. Have a great weekend.
You too. All right. Now, on to Walmart. And I'm telling you right now, you want to talk about phones? I got a feeling the phones are going to blow up on this. And it's about the receipt checking at Walmart. There is a woman that put a video together. She posted it on her social media. And this is a woman. I love this lady. She's like, I am not showing my receipt at the front door at Walmart. You know what I'm talking about? You go to Walmart, you do a self-checkout, or you do the regular lane checkout with an employee. And in a lot of cases... and I've noticed that some Walmarts, and I think the more complex stores or areas where there is a higher degree of theft, I think they're a little more stringent and strict and consistent with the receipt checking. There are some stores, for instance, where some Walmarts that I've gone to where there hasn't even been a receipt checker at the door. So here's the deal. Let me play this audio. This is a woman that's saying, no, I'm not showing you my receipt. I paid for it. I just checked out. I'm not showing you my receipt. But it also comes down to...
what right do they have to even ask you for it?
Can they require you? Here, listen to this audio. Listen to this. I love this woman. Listen to this woman talking about how she's not going to show the receipt at Walmart anymore. Listen.
So I just came out of Walmart. See the sign back there. Because I forgot a few things at Kroger's yesterday. Well, just a couple of things. And one of them was toilet tissue, so I was over there with this girl. We was both getting toilet tissue. And she was like, this don't make no sense. We got to pay this much to wipe our ass. And I fell out laughing. I was like, right. So anyway, I went to go pay for my stuff. I did the self-checkout. And after I paid for it, I'm getting ready to walk out. 2 people walked out ahead of me. Older man stops and say, can I see your receipt? Without me stopping and without me looking at him, I say no.
No? Can I see your receipt? No. So this woman is like fighting back. She's like, no, I'm not showing you my receipt before I walk out of the Walmart.
I paid for it. I'm no longer showing receipts. If I got to work for you for free, Walmart, tell your people don't ask me to see my receipt because I'm not going to show it to them. Period. So he was like, oh, okay, thank you. Have a nice day. And I was just steady walking with my shit in my cart.
With her stuff in her cart.
Andrew, I think you missed that one.
That walked out before me that you did not ask for a receipt. And then I get to the door and you want to ask me for a receipt. Nah, I'm not the one. I'm not showing no more receipts.
All right, so this is an interesting question. Is there any requirement that you have to show your receipt? What if you just say no? She said no to the guy checking receipts at the front door. She said no, and the guy said, "Okay, have a nice day."
So the policy, I think, I'm not a Walmart employee. I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure the policy is if you have something in your cart that's not in a bag, then you flag yourself for potentially being asked to see your receipt because they're thinking, why is it in your cart? So like I've gone through self-checkout and I bag everything, but I don't bag my gallon of milk. And they'll ask to see my receipt because my milk's out. Or when I bought the microwave last week for the Super Bowl egg test.
That's not going to fit in a box or in a bag, rather. You're just going to carry the box out.
But she asked to see my receipt on the way out because it wasn't in a bag.
The question, though, is, are you required? Do you have to? It doesn't seem like you have to. I don't think there's any... I mean, you are on private property. I guess they could, if they want to get really ornery, they could trespass you and tell you that you're not welcome at our Walmart anymore. Let's go to phones on this. Do you ever refuse to show your receipt? Now, Walmart, Does Home Depot do it sometimes as well? I'm trying to remember. Certainly Walmart. When you think of stores that ask you for a receipt, you think of Walmart, you think of the clubs.
Costco.
Like
right.
Costco or Sam's Club or
Right.
BJ's. All right, let's go to phones on this. I would love, and even different angles. Have you refused to show your receipt, or do you always comply? And listen, if you work for Walmart, if you're a Walmart employee, or if you once worked at Walmart, what happens when somebody refuses to show the receipt? The woman that we just played the audio bite of with her social media, video post, which has gone viral, she's like, no, I'm not showing you my receipt. And the guy said, okay, have a nice day. Let's go to phones on this. 800-990-1047. Interesting. Do you have to show the receipt? I mean, and what is the enforcement really? It's not like you're breaking the law. They might have a policy. But what can they really do if you say no? I mean, they're not going to grab you. They're not going to detain you. Walmart loss prevention is not going to, grab you by the waist and prevent you from leaving the store. What are your thoughts about this woman saying, no, I just paid for the stuff. I'm walking out of your Walmart. I'm not showing you my receipt. Let's go to phones. Look, every line is jammed here now. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Would love to get your take on this. 800-990-1047. That's how you get in. Philippe in Dade City has a story. Philippe, welcome to the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Long-time listener.
Hey, buddy, thanks. What's the story with you and Walmart?
Every time I go by there, they always want to see my receipt, and they get mad when you don't show them receipts. So now, whenever I go by there, all I do is I hold up my receipt. You see my receipt, and I keep on going. I never stop. It's just an aggravation. And then there's always 5-10 people waiting to show receipts. I just walk by them.
I mean, really, what is the enforcement ability that they really have? And I don't want to
They get mad.
Yeah. When you say they get mad, to what degree have they been angered by your refusal to show your receipt?
Well, they tell me that they must see my receipt. I was going like, y'all bagged my stuff up. Did y'all steal? I didn't steal anything. I said, everything that y'all bagged in there, I paid for it. And then they got a book there that they have to write down that so-and-so refused to show the receipt.
Hold on. Hold on. You're saying that they have a ledger? They keep track of people that refuse to show the receipt?
Absolutely.
Wow, it's the receipt naughty list over at Walmart.
I mean, Philippe, how would they even know your name?
Exactly. That's the problem. I don't understand why. I don't know. They don't know what your name is, so I don't know what they write down on the book. One day I'm going to go by there and I'm going to check and see what they write up in them books.
Just grab the book and
steal the book.
Like that Seinfeld episode where they were making all the notes on Elaine's files, all the doctors.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, Philippe. Jeff is in Parrish. Jeff, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
My experience is a little different than your other caller. If everything I have is in a bag, I just can walk out. The greeter person just lets you go. But if I have loose things in the bag, then what happens is they want to see the receipt to make sure you've paid for that because they want to make sure you haven't stolen that.
No, I get it. We all understand why they want a receipt check, but I've seen people, and it's happened to me, where I'm walking out with non-loose items. Everything is in the Walmart plastic bag, and they still ask to see your receipt.
Well, interesting, because that's not been my experience.
Right.
But, everybody has a different experience.
Jeff, thanks for the call. Francis in St. Pete. Francis, MJ Morning Show, you're up next. Hi.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, half the time when I go to Walmart, they ask for my receipt, and sometimes they don't. I just keep walking, tell them they can keep my receipt, and just walk out the door. I don't stop.
Well,
here, keep my receipt.
Yeah, but but if you want to return something, it's easier with the receipt. if you don't have the receipt and you put it on a credit card, they know that credit card was used for a scanned item. Francis, thanks for the call. Christina in Seminole. Christina, MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Morning, MJ.
Hey there. What's up?
So, I've been battling this receipt check since Walmart has started it. And what I do, to me, it's like a game. I've paid for everything that I've bought. And every time they want to see my receipt, I tell them no. And I keep walking. And I figure if they want to walk out and check my receipt at my car, that's fine. But So
what's the worst thing that happened? I mean, I tell you what, this has struck a nerve, man. There are some people that are really pissed off about Walmart receipt checking at the front door. So what has happened when you've just kept walking and they say, can I see your receipt? And you say no, and you keep walking. What's happened? What's the response you get?
I've had a couple old ladies that do receipt checks that hollered at me like, I have to check your receipt, and I holler back, no, you don't. And the only places that have to check your receipt is where you pay a club membership to, because it's in the rules when you sign up for a club membership like Sam's Club.
Yeah, that's like in the terms of service.
So
Yes.
You have to show your receipt or you lose your membership. But Walmart, they have no legal standpoint. Everybody can literally walk out the door unless asset protection sees you trying to hide merchandise.
Yep.
They're the only ones that can actually stop you. And once you walk out the door, they legally, by law, can't do anything to you unless you willingly walk back into that store.
Man, Christina, man, you got this whole thing buttoned up, don't you?
Wow.
Yeah, I worked for Home Depot for 8 years.
Gotcha. Christina, thanks for the call. Brian in Waimama. Brian, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi, Brian.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We are well. All right, so what's your Walmart receipt checking story?
Hey, I'm just blowing by them. I'm just walking by. I'm no eye contact. I'm just walking on by.
Man, we have a lot of conscientious Walmart receipt objectors here, don't we?
Yes.
I'm just leaving. I'm just, bye. I got to go.
Man, this is a thing. We've just sparked. Every line is jammed here. Wow. Brian, thanks for the call. Jackie in Tampa. Jackie, you're next on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi. Every time I go to Walmart, everybody would be checked they'll check everybody's receipts in front of me. And when they get to me, they just wave me through. And so just last week, I went and bought a bunch of groceries. And, I'm bringing them all up and I'm bagging everything. Some things I'm double bagging.
Right.
So anyway, I get out of the store and I go to empty out my cart. And I noticed that one of my items was not in the bag. And I thought, oh my goodness, I forgot to ring that up. Because that's the way I keep track of what I paid for. And so I go back in the store right away because I'm thinking, oh my God, it's on camera. I'm going to get...
All right, so listen, cut to the chase. So what's the outcome here?
Yeah. So I told the guy when I came back in, I said, I forgot to ring this up. He said, okay. So I went and...
Yeah, you went back in and paid for it?
Of course.
Oh, there you go. Well, thank you, Jackie. All right, two more calls. I'm going to move on. And there's an interesting follow-up, or there's an interesting segue to a whole different story, which I think makes just sense to segue into in just a second. And it has to do with shoplifting. And I saw another video. I saw this online. I'm like, you know what? This is kind of interesting. I hope that the bulk of our audience doesn't engage in this type of behavior, but nevertheless, I do find it interesting. Rose in Dunedin. Rose, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning. I have a different angle on this.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, I was at Walmart. I went through self-checkout, and at the very end, it asked me, do you want print only, email only, or both? So if you do email only, what are you showing the checker? That day when I went out, there was no checker, but they're giving you the option. So what are you going to show them?
Yeah, that's exactly. What are they going to make you show your email account on your phone that you got the receipt via email? No, that's a very good point, Rose. Thank you. Jill in Largo. Hey, Andrew, let me grab Jill and I'll grab Rick, but if you can shut it off because I got to move on. So, Jill Largo, you're next on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, Jill, we're well. Go ahead.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I was at Walmart in Seminole and I bought a coffee mixer that was $20, and they stopped me to check my receipt. And this kid rides out of the Walmart on a very expensive bike and gets away with it. And by the time we got outside, he was long gone.
Wait a minute. While they're checking your receipt, the kid rode out on a bike from the bike department?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Jill, thanks for... And did they run after him?
No, they didn't. He got away.
Yeah. You know, the policy is that the employees are not supposed to go after shoplifters. You're not supposed to, confront them. They're not supposed to engage. Don't, tackle them in the parking lot. Jill, thanks for the call. Last call on this, Rick in Brandon. Tell you what, we've hit an emotional nerve here about the receipt checking at the door at Walmart. I mean, the number of people are like, you're not checking my receipt. I'm not showing it to you. I'm amazed at the number of calls here.
I get
Rick,
it.
Final call on this. Rick, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey.
Here's my spin on this. If you paid for everything and didn't steal anything, what's your problem with showing your receipt?
The problem, Rick, is the hassle of A, them thinking you're a thief, B, slowing you down from getting on with your day to have to stand there to show them something you already did.
And when you've already, if it's self-checkout, you've already done that. Like the lady said, I'm working for you now.
Well, what's the deal? You can take something, an extra bag, put something in the extra bag, and still walk out the door without paying for it.
Listen, some people don't have a problem with this. Other people, this strikes a nerve. You're going to have probably the overwhelming percentage of people, when they're asked to show their receipt, they've got no issue. It's, a 3-second process and you're on your way. But some people are like, hey, what right do you have? No, I'm not going to show you the receipt. Listen, some people, get hung up on certain things, get a little ornery. And, obviously we've had a couple of those folks that call in. Frankly, I've got no issue. But also, I think that and this is an interesting angle as well. I think they profile folks, meaning I think they look at people and they kind of size them up. And it seems that I have noticed that some Walmart locations that some people, they ask to see the receipt, and other people, they don't ask to see the receipt. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's happened to me on numerous occasions where I'm walking at a Walmart and I see that they are checking receipts and they don't even ask me. Maybe I don't look like I'm a Walmart, product pilferer.
No,
and
you do. You really do.
They just let me roll on. Hey, Rick, thanks for the call, buddy.
Have a good one.
You too. Yes, Andrew, the producer.
I've never had this issue at Walmart, but at Sam's Club, when you're leaving, there's a long line that seems to take forever.
But you're a member of a club there. You join knowing that's the deal.
Understood. I'm just saying, though.
As the caller brought that up a little while ago, when you sign up for a membership, it's in their rules that you agree to show your receipt at the front door. All right, so let me segue into this other item here. And it's a video that I saw about a week ago, and we pulled the audio. I just didn't get around to it. But now it makes perfect sense that on the heels of talking about the Walmart receipt checking, there is a lawyer that has an Instagram account, and he shoots these videos, posts these like legal videos in regard to interesting legal questions or dilemmas. And listen to this. He shot a video that if you're a shoplifter and you rip off a store, what if the item is on sale? Can they charge you with the cost of the actual original value of the item? Or are you charged with the sale price? And in some cases, a sale price could put you below like grand theft. So what do you get charged with? I just thought this was interesting. And I'm not condoning anybody. I think theft is abhorrent. I think it's disgusting. Stealing, ripping people off is foul beyond belief. I hate it. I hate a thief.
Yes.
Most people should hate a thief, but still kind of interesting. Now, the audio, it starts off pretty clean, but then it gets a little muffled, but you'll be able to understand what the guy's saying.
Now, we're standing in front of Macy's, famous department store in New York City. The question is, let's say you steal something, and it's normally an amount that would be a felony grand theft, but the item is on sale.
All right, so again, you steal something from Macy's, and normally if it was at full price, it would be felony grand theft. But what if the item is on sale, and the sale price is below the threshold for like felony grand theft. Isn't it like $500 in a lot of places?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
Yeah, like what is the amount of felony grand theft? And I think it's going to vary according to states and municipalities. But I think that in a lot of places it's like
so in Florida,
$750 in Florida.
$750 in Florida.
Florida law classifies grand theft as any intentional and unlawful property theft valued at $750 or more. I think some states might be $500. Anyway, this guy continues.
Is it a grand theft or is it a petty theft? And the answer is it's fair market value, which means if it's on sale, then it's only a petty theft and not a grand theft. Macy's cannot try to charge you with the full amount.
Interesting, though. So if you're a thief and you shoplift and rip off a store and the item is on sale, it's whatever the sale price of the item is. They can't say, but the actual price before the sale was X. No, they can't hit you with that. You would be hit with stealing the sale price value of the item, you stinking dirty thief.
This sounds like a Price is Right game. The actual retail price is $8.49, but on sale for $6.99. More pricing games after this.
Yeah, it's the new shoplifter game on The Price is Right.
Does this person get grand theft charges?
I would recommend to this lawyer who is racking up all kinds of views, I would recommend that he step up his game a little bit and get a better microphone for his videos that he's, trying to rack up tens and tens of thousands of views on and tons of followers on Instagram. Just go to B&H Photo, man. Get a little microphone for your videos, would you please? All right, 7:58 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. You want to hear a very interesting story? This Rent-A-Center is at someone's house repoing items that they clearly didn't pay for. This is a great story. So listen to this. A DoorDash driver is making a food delivery to a house. The DoorDash driver shows up, and guess what? At the same time the DoorDash driver is showing up to deliver the food, Rent-A-Center is at the person's house trying to repossess items that they're clearly not making the payments on. Guess what? They wouldn't open up the door for the DoorDash driver because they were dealing with the Rent-A-Center trying to keep the repo guy at bay.
Oh, no.
So what does the DoorDash driver do?
It's quite the dilemma. Can DoorDash just leave the food on the stoop or something?
In a lot of cases, they do. But this is just interesting. I mean, you talk about terrible, terrible timing. Guy orders DoorDash, but at the same time, the Rent-A-Center repo guy's there. Like, we're here to get your TV. We're here to get your couch and your coffee table.
Well, then he's not going to be able to enjoy his food lying on the couch and watching TV.
Yeah, this is another video that's gone viral. And it's the DoorDash guy's like, hey, listen, here are some of the problems we face. The guy won't open the door to take his DoorDash food because he doesn't want to open the door because the Rent-A-Center repo folks are there. Anyway, I just laugh. When I saw this, I'm like, man, that's funny. I mean, the things that you just don't think about. 8 o'clock at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105 as we move along. This might be slightly overvalued. Did you see that Beer Can Island is for sale for $14.2 million?
And you know what those guys paid for it?
Yes, that's the point here. This is a crazy, crazy story. So Beer Can Island, which is, it's actually bigger than you'd think. Beer Can Island, it's like 9 acres or something. And Beer Can Island is Is it technically Tampa Bay or is that like old Hillsborough Bay? Because on that side,
I think it's Tampa.
Is it still Tampa Bay? I guess.
Yeah. I think if you drew a straight line from St. Petersburg, like to Apollo Beach, it's like in the middle of that.
I mean, it's off. Beer Can Island is. Festa, you bringing it up right there?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
It's not called Beer Can Island. Is not what it is on a
right.
map.
It's Pine Key.
Right.
So it's called Pine Key, but it's Beer Can Island, and it's off MacDill Air Force Base. So if you look at, it's sort of between Apollo Beach and MacDill Air Force Base, and it's Beer Can Island.
What did you say it's for sale for?
It's for sale for $14.2 million. And the guys bought it back in 2017 for $64,000. That seems a little bit lofty.
Yeah.
That's
steep.
Andrew, what do you...
He's telling me to click satellite. I don't know where that is on this board, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, so hold on, Andrew, grab Froggy's mic. Andrew, grab Froggy's mic. What are you trying to point out to Fester over here?
I was trying to get him to click on the satellite function so you could get a better look at what's on that island.
Yeah, the folks that bought it, they put like a tiki hut on the thing, but now Beer Can Island is closed to boaters. Whereas, I don't know, maybe...
How do they keep them away?
Maybe 6 months ago, I flew into Tampa International, and I can't remember where I was coming from. I was probably coming from New York, and flying down, we were making an approach to line up for one left. So when you do a one left landing, that's when you roll in over the bay, you roll over the Gandhi Bridge, you roll over the Howard Franklin Bridge, and then you go right by, what is the hotel over there? On the...
with the Continental?
No, not
I know
the Holiday Express.
Where Armani's used to be.
Yeah.
What was that place called? Anyway,
so the Hyatt.
The Hyatt. Thank you, the Hyatt. So that's like a one left landing. But the point I'm trying to make is that we rolled in. So you come from the north, and you got to go all the way around the South Tampa Peninsula, around MacDill Air Force Base, and we flew over Beer Can Island. And at that point, you're, I don't know, maybe 4,000 feet up in altitude. And I remember looking out, I had a good view right down at Beer Can Island. And there were like hundreds. This was like a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
You know what? It might have been the Sunday of Labor Day weekend last year. And I looked down as we're over Tampa Bay, and I looked down at Beer Can Island. There were hundreds of boats out there. It's amazing. So with the guys now selling Beer Can Island, which I'm sorry, but you paid $64,000 for it in 2017, and now you want $14.2 million? That seems like it might be a little excessive on the price increase here.
Make them an offer at $10 million, they'll take it. I mean,
hold on, even that. I mean, come on.
I know it's
that
nuts.
Seems ridiculous.
There's no utilities on this island, right?
No, there's nothing. And one of the concerns that public officials have is that with so many people going to Beer Can Island, what if there is an emergency? It's like the lack of services on Beer Can Island when you have that many people there. It's an accessibility issue as well. Anyway, so the guys bought it for $64,000. They now are trying to sell it for $14.2 million, which I'm sorry, guys. Seems a little ridiculous. Carl Weaver and Johnny Gadd and a few of their friends bought the island. Called Pine Key, but informally everyone knows it as Beer Can Island. It's a pretty lofty increase from $64,000 to $14.2 million. But also the write-up, the story that I saw from Fox 13 was, and listen to this: the island will be auctioned off as an NFT for cryptocurrency. What? But cash offers will be accepted as well. Offers may be submitted immediately. The auction will start in early March and it'll end on April 1st. The highest bidder will be the new island owner.
I mean, you just need one moron with a few bucks to buy an island.
Make an offer.
Let me tell you right now.
Let's pool our money together.
Let me tell you right now. There is no way in hell that they're getting $14.2 million for this island. I can't even imagine that they're going to get $1 million for the island. They paid $64,000.
Would you have bought it for $64,000?
I don't want an island in the middle of Tampa Bay with no utilities,
no nothing.
Exactly.
They have one potty. They have one portable potty.
They've got they've got like a rent-a-john.
Yes, and then they also have a slide, and they also have, what else did they?
They have some huts. They have a barbecue stand there.
They put some tiki huts on there. Exactly.
But I guess another problem is Hillsborough County was irritated because it's hard to get paramedics to get people to.
I just said that.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking it up. I was
just said that 4 minutes ago.
Listen, I was writing a post on myq105.com. You can read all about Beer Can Island in case you, like me, just missed some of it. And I was updating my post based on what you guys are saying.
Why don't you do me a favor? Don't write posts while we're doing the show. Can you just
okay? Tell that to the bosses. Thank you.
No, just focus on being live on the air, please.
I would love to do that.
Hold on, MJ, I also heard.
Believe me, I would love to do that.
That's a requirement that I'm going to have.
Listen, well, please communicate it with everybody.
No, did you guys hear? I don't need you writing posts while you're live on the show.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you guys aware that Hillsborough County is also very concerned that they couldn't get paramedics to the island in case of an emergency?
You know what I heard?
What'd you hear?
I heard that Hillsborough County is very concerned that they might not be able to get emergency personnel quickly to the island in the event of an emergency.
Get out of here! I heard the same thing. I heard Roxanne talk about it on the radio.
MJ?
Yes, Andrew, yeah.
Yes, Andrew.
Yeah, two things. One would be a great place for studios.
Okay.
What?
A great place for build our studios on there. But number two,
hold on. Why would you want to build our studios? What is the joke here?
Because then it would be better than the situation we're in.
That's no joke.
That'd be brand new studios. Okay. But number two,
tell you what, Gilligan's Island coconuts with a string would be better than the studios we have here.
All right. On that note, guys, I'm out of here.
And number two,
you said 8:10. It's only 8:08.
Yeah. Well,
on
that note, she's out of here. She's right.
Note, goodbye.
Yeah. You know what I heard though,
Roxanne? Did you know that Hillsborough County was concerned about not being able to get paramedics or emergency services to the island?
For your information, I wrote this post last night. You can see it, myq105.com. Give it a click. Give it a view. And I just heard you say something interesting, so I was trying to add what you said back into my post to fluff it up more.
By completely repeating it.
Yeah, by repeating what I just said a minute earlier.
I'll tell you something you don't have in your post.
What?
Hillsborough County officials are very concerned that they can't get paramedics or emergency services to the island.
That's the most important part of the thing, because if you're going to buy this island, you need to know that.
But also, they're saying now that people are not with it up for sale now, that it's been closed. How are you going to prevent someone? Yeah. They don't have security there. I mean, you're boating out there. Are they really going to stop people for, you pull the boat up onto the sandbar and you walk on the island? I mean, who's enforcing? Yeah, who's enforcing the fact that now they're saying that people can't walk on Beer Can Island?
Let me tell you who's not enforcing it. The sheriff's office, because they can't get emergency services.
You know what? There's a concern about having emergency services on the...
I heard it. I just heard it somewhere.
Hey, Roxanne, before you roll,
yes.
Have you
heard
about...
And you guys can call me if you want to for the next 30.
Have you heard about volume eating?
No, but it sounds fun. Sign me up.
I wonder if anyone listening to our show right now has attempted this. Volume eating is a new diet trend which calls for people to shove their face with a lot more food, but low calorie foods. So the whole concept here is you would, jam your stomach, filled with like watermelon, lettuce, zucchini, citrus, spinach, egg whites, cucumber, celery, oatmeal.
But eat as much as you want. Just go nuts eating it.
So high fiber items that you eat a lot of that are low in calories. So the concept is you jam up your stomach, you make yourself very full, you're eating a lot more food, but it's like really low calorie stuff. Like I could eat bok choy all day. And I think bok choy might be one of those, and I don't know if this
superfood, right?
Well, no. What I'm going to say is bok choy. I think it's one of those like negative calorie foods that you eat bok choy, and it I think takes more calories to digest the food than what's actually in the food. But I love bok choy,
Lettuce is a lot like that, too, with the negative calories. MJ, that's why you never see a fat manatee.
Well, but the...
all they eat is lettuce and green. Yeah. It's a manatee's diet, and they're so fat. Don't tell me that.
The problem with salads is the folks that build inherently a low-calorie salad because the actual produce is low in calories, but then they slather the thing with like 2 pints of Hidden Valley Ranch dressing or something.
See, that's what I do. So I would not be good for this diet because I would eat all that salad and it would have to have a ton of dressings on.
But that's an issue. You look at like some of the menus And, over the last couple of years, the fast food chains, restaurants, with a certain number of locations, they have to put the caloric value of the item on the menu. It's not like your mom and pop places, but I think it's like restaurants with a certain threshold or certain number of locations have to put the calories on. But you look at some of these salads and the so-and-so Asian chicken salad, and you're like, well, how bad can that be?
That sounds delicious,
But then you look at the calories. It's like 1,290 calories. It's like, what the freak? How does a salad have 1,290 calories? And what it is you add like the fried wonton things on there. Then you have the dressings. And in a lot of cases, it's the high-fat, high-caloric dressings that take what would be a healthy salad, and it turns it into, a calorie bomb, a calorie grenade.
So my favorite of all of the Asian salads, I believe, is the Applebee's Oriental Grilled Chicken Salad.
Yeah, let me guess. I wasn't far off. Yeah. It's 1,290 calories.
Almost 1,300 calories. Yeah. 88 carbs.
Oh, my
78.
Wow.
82 grams of fat.
So 78 grams net carbs, 82 grams fat, 52 grams of protein, and the Applebee's entree salad, the Oriental grilled chicken, 1,290 calories.
That seems like high for a salad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point.
I'm with you.
That's my whole point is, you know what? I'm going to eat healthy today. I'm going to have a salad. And then you get a salad that's, 12, 14, 1,500 calories. I'm sure that you can go to the Cheesecake Factory and order a salad that's probably 9,000 calories. That's what I'm guessing. It's probably the fettuccine Alfredo salad at the Cheesecake Factory. But no, it's high volume eating. And you're eating foods that are low in calories, but you eat a lot of them to fill you up. And this is like a new trend.
That sounds terrible. It sounds really awful.
Just heads up. Low volume foods are more calorically dense and can contain oils, dried fruit, honey, maple syrup, cheese, nuts. Nut butters are an example. If done correctly, volume eating could be good for weight loss. So
great. Eat broccoli. Great.
We've talked lately about Temu. Now, I know we all want to say Temu, but if you watched these commercials that they had during the Super Bowl for this cheap Chinese goods app, which, again, get it off your phone. If you download the Temu app, you're letting them access everything on your phone. It's an open freaking door. So if you have the Temu app, T-E-M-U, it's pronounced Temu. Why? Because that's the way they pronounced it on the 3 Super Bowl commercials that they paid $7 million a piece for.
I got to say, that's the most important thing I've learned during the Super Bowl is that I was pronouncing Temu wrong.
Yeah, it's Temu.
Okay.
And listen to this. I've told folks now for over a year. I'm not a Johnny-come-lately on this. I've told you that if you or if anyone you know has the Temu app, T-E-M-U, on your phone, get it off your phone. The company is ripping off your data. They have access to everything, your address book, your text messages, your contacts, your downloaded files. They can have access to everything. I mean, think about it. Maybe that's why they sell shirts for 62 cents, so they can just grab all your data. Because these days, folks, data is power. The value is data. And they're ripping off your data. But listen to this. As if it's not bad enough that they're ripping your data off. What about ripping your foot off?
They take your foot?
Well, listen to this.
Somebody lost their foot on Temu?
A Temu customer bought a product and sliced their foot wide open because of a razor-sharp stud that was found in a pair of $12 boots. I mean, what does anyone think that you're going to get? What kind of quality by buying, $3 shirts, $12 boots? Yeah, this happened here in Florida. A Florida mother left with $2,000 in medical bills. Hell yeah, got a great deal. $12 boots, and now has to shell out $2,000 in medical bills because there's a huge gash running the entire length of her foot from a razor-sharp stud inside a pair of snow boots that she got from the Chinese e-commerce site Temu. Leanne Marley, who's 49, said that her 73-year-old mother gifted her black ankle boots because they didn't fit her. She wore the shoes a couple of times. She says, I wore the shoes 2 or 3 times, and I always felt something was sticking into my foot.
Yeah, it was a big nail.
I thought it was a sticker or a tag. But when she put on the cheap $12 boots again back on December 19th, a razor-sharp eyelet inside the right boot sliced open her foot. I mean, you ought to see the stitches. She's got like Frankenstein stitches down the whole side of her foot. You know, right on the side of the foot where the area where it kind of meets the top of the foot to like the sole of the foot, the whole side of her foot. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Looks like there's 15 stitches on her foot.
Okay, that's 1 stitch for every 10 different snow boots that you can find on Temu. I just typed in snow boots into Temu and dozens and dozens and dozens popped up.
So, hey, $12 boots and over $2,000 in medical bills. Hey, sounds like a great trade-off, huh? Again, now we got, not only is the app ripping off your data off your phone, now the app is ripping your foot apart.
That's going to be the next Super Bowl ad. Her gimping to her computer to buy bandages.
I mean, what if it gets really infected? I mean, they might have to amputate her foot or something. Anyway, again, folks, don't deal with this Temu crap. I mean, I've heard time and time again, somebody buys something, it falls apart in 32 seconds after they take it out of the box. You know, not to mention the data collection ought to be an absolute deal killer. Guess what?
What do you got?
Did you know that sugar-free gum gives people bad gas?
Get out of here.
I didn't know this.
I'm not a sugar-free gum guy. I'm not a sugar-free anything guy, but I'm not a sugar-free gum guy. It always has that funky taste. But how does it produce gas?
Researchers say that sugar-free gum can negatively impact your gut health. Man, has this been Trident's dirty little secret for all these years? Researchers at the University of California, Davis are revealing how changes in the gut microbiome can lead to difficulties in digesting sorbitol, a sugar alcohol commonly found in sugar-free gum and candies and naturally in fruits like apples and avocados. Yes, sorbitol intolerance. I didn't know this.
Okay.
That sorbitol and if it's used in sugar-free candies and gums, that increases your gassiness.
That's actually an incentive to actually eat sugar-free,
like Trident.
Chew. Yeah.
Like, does Trident have sorbitol? I don't know. I mean, Trident back in the day, sugar-free Trident, which was recommended, 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed who have patients that chew gum recommend Trident, right?
I typed in gums with sorbitol.
Oh my God!
Every sugar-free gum popped up.
So everything has sorbitol these days, right?
Gums with sorbitol, and then the extra brand, the double mint brand, the Eclipse, the Trident.
One stick of Trident gum contains about 1.25 grams of sorbitol. But
wow.
I don't know if I've noticed. I don't chew a lot of gum.
No, I'm not a gum guy.
Yeah, I was a gum person probably when I was younger. When I was in grade school, middle school, but I think by high school I'd pretty much been. I'm not a gum chewer. I can't even tell you the last time that I chewed gum. So I guess the sugar-free gas problem is not a concern for me.
I find that I'm gassy enough without the gum.
Yeah.
I mean, if I actually chewed the gum, I'd probably explode.
Bubble. Is there a sugar-free bubble yum? I don't know. But I had no idea that the the chemical sweetener that sorbitol is known to make people.
Whoa!
It's like Wendy Williams.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so heads up if you're trying to figure out why you might be gassy, and it turns out that you chew a lot of sugar-free gum or eat a lot of sugar-free candies, that could be the answer to the question.
You've been chewing gum.
In fact, the famous scene around the campfire in the movie Blazing Saddles, that wasn't from the beans.
No.
They were chewing Trident.
Yeah, it was the gum.
It's all the gum. It wasn't the beans. The beans got the bad rap in the movie Blazing Saddles.
Gum for Mongo.
Yeah.
Gum for Mongo.
There you go. I don't know how this happens. I don't know how anyone could take this person seriously. A financial advice columnist up in New York City got scammed out of $50,000.
Oh, man.
Listen, and she admitted this and then wrote a column about this. Is it really worth getting the material for your column and then completely destroying your credibility as a financial advice columnist?
I mean, you don't think it shows behind the curtain that, hey, these scams are so prevalent anybody can fall for them?
All right, this is bizarre. You got to hear the story. So the woman's name is Charlotte Cowles, and she writes a financial advice online column called The Cut. And she fell victim to a money scam. Again, if I know that you fell victim to the scam and you're writing monetary and financial advice columns, I'm putting you on big fat ignore.
Yeah, I'm not going to read your article anymore.
I don't understand why she would almost like self-sabotage yourself. All right, you fell for a scam. You got really rooked badly. So what, you're going to continue the financial destruction by showing everyone what a dumbass you are? Listen to the details. This is crazy. This woman put $50,000 in cash in a shoebox and then handed it to a stranger on the street.
Huh?
Yeah, this is a savvy financial advice columnist, isn't it? This is nuts. Cowles then wrote about the scam in which she turned over $50,000 in cash in a shoebox. It was the entire contents of her savings account. This is insane. Listen to the story. It began with a call from someone claiming to be with Amazon and flagging suspicious purchases, which Cowles could find no proof of. She was then connected to a so-called liaison with the Federal Trade Commission. This is an elaborate hoax. And, of course, none of these claims, you're not dealing with anyone with the FTC. You're being phished and scammed, and they play a numbers game where, 99% of the people will tell you to beat it, get the hell out of here.
Yes, and the 1% that falls for it writes a financial column.
But if only a small percentage falls for it and you're able to scam someone out of $50,000, you're able to put some serious, money on the table in your scam rackets. So this woman was connected with a fake individual who was supposed to be a liaison with the Federal Trade Commission, who had her Social Security number and claimed that she was not only connected to a large financial scam case, but that there were warrants out for her arrest in 2 states. This is like textbook scare people scammage. Why do people fall for this? The man identified himself as Calvin, told Cowles, the financial advice columnist, to not tell anyone in her life what was going on because everyone was suspect. That's another red flag. You can't tell anybody about this because if you tell somebody, inevitably, someone you tell, like a relative or friend, is going to say, that's a scam. What are you doing?
You're crazy.
Run, get out of here. These are sophisticated criminals with a lot of money at stake. You should assume that you're in danger and being watched. You cannot take any chances, the man told Cowles. My God, she fell for every scam trick in the book. From there, she was connected with a Michael, supposedly from the CIA. who warned her against involving an attorney, claiming that she was connected to extensive criminal activity. This is the whole scare tactic scam. And bamboozled an advice columnist for finance out of $50,000? You know what, lady? Why don't you hang it up and get a job at Target?
Do something else.
Yeah, do something else. If you talk to an attorney, I cannot help you anymore. That's what the guy said. You'll be considered non-cooperative, your home will be raided, and your assets will be seized. You may be arrested. It's your choice.
I mean, whatever you want to do. I mean, seize your assets or talk to an attorney.
According to the CIA agent, because the CIA is really dealing with a woman who they're claiming is tied to some Amazon product scam. Get out of here. So according to the so-called CIA agent, time was of the essence. And Cowles was to be given a new Social Security number and her accounts would be frozen. What? Yes, we have to erase your identity and your Social Security number. We're going to issue you a new Social Security number. This is crazy.
Can you even get a second or another Social Security number?
I think in the witness relocation program,
that might be the only way.
Yeah. He asked me how much cash I thought I would need to support myself for a year if necessary. My assets could be frozen for up to 2 years if the investigation dragged on, he said. There could be a trial. I might need to testify. These things take time. She says, I don't know, $50,000. Wondered how I would receive paychecks without a bank account. Would I have to take time off from work? I mean, this woman fell for every emotional scam angle in the book on this racket. So this woman ends up on her Brooklyn street up in New York last October, handing a shoebox with $50,000 in cash in it to what she was told was an undercover CIA operative.
Oh, my God.
God, these are the cases where you're like, how dumb can somebody be? When Cowles questioned the logic of what was happening, she was told that she was likely being watched and her family was in danger.
Right.
According to Michael, the CIA guy?
Yeah. Oh, yes. He works for the CIA.
The money would be secured for her, and then a treasury check would be delivered to her in the same amount, enough to live for a year on cash. She was told that she'd likely need to testify and was sent a photo of the supposed hard copy of the check. I mean, this is an elaborate scam. And again, 99% of people, I would imagine, will say, this is crap. Get out of here. But all they care about, it's the small percentage that fall for it. And we're talking about big money here. These scams, I'm sure, are netting these scamsters hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
But I mean, the fact, why would she come forward, an online advice columnist for finance, and admit to being scammed? Who is going to take anything that she says seriously at all? Unless she was that hard up for content.
I can't. I have writer's block. Let's write about my scam.
Yeah, let me talk about me being scammed. Is that not unbelievable? Folks, don't fall for this stuff. And a lot of times they come up with elaborate stories. I'm guessing we probably have someone listening now that got scammed.
Absolutely.
Probably someone listening or someone listening who's a relative, friend, mother, father, aunt, uncle, maybe got scammed.
How old is this Charlotte Cowles?
I don't have an age.
Because this sounds like something that's targeted toward like older people.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think. But a lot, you know what? One of the big scams is like the grandson calls grandma and says, I've been arrested. I'm being held in a Canadian jail. I need you to send money right away to bail me out. That's another one of these like emotional, kind of scam deals. I mean, who falls for this stuff? It's absolutely unbelievable. Moving along, little celebrity stuff. There's a story going around that Amy Schumer, comedian, actress Amy Schumer.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, but there's a story going around that her face has become very, very puffy. And people are concerned for her health. And people online have been noticing what's going on with Amy Schumer's face. Why has it really kind of ballooned up?
She's always been kind of a full-figured person.
Absolutely. But her face has never been this full or this puffy.
I just pulled up a picture of it.
So there's a picture that Fester's looking at right now, and it's a recent picture. And again, her face has gotten just wider, rounder.
It looks like a perfect circle.
But now, really, something's going on, and she's responding from Daily Mail. I got a couple of sources here. Also, USA Today, Daily Mail. Amy Schumer breaks silence on her appearance after sparking concern with puffy and swollen face, as she details the battle that she's had with an autoimmune disease.
Puffy face syndrome?
Endometriosis. And she says, I feel strong and beautiful. She didn't address this originally, but people were noticing these facial changes in Amy Schumer. And, finally she's breaking her silence. And it's like, I don't owe you an explanation. So she's calling out trolls. Now I move to USA Today. Amy Schumer calls out trolls saying that she owes no explanation for her puffier face.
No.
Now, you know what? If you're in the public light.
You completely change your appearance.
And something totally changes, even if it is medical, you have to understand and you have to, I guess, acknowledge that if you're in the public, people know what you look like, and suddenly you're having some medical issues and your appearance is changed dramatically, I think you can choose to try to remain private and quiet about the matter. But if you're in the public light, you're not going to be able to stop people speculating about what's going on. So finally, she's come out and talked about what's going on, and you just found something else online.
If she has an autoimmune disease, which I have one as well, a bunch of people have different autoimmune diseases. One of the things they like to...
You've got myasthenia gravis, which has been in remission for a while, luckily.
But one of the things they like to prescribe, and they tried to prescribe it to me for a while, is prednisone.
Yeah.
Prednisone, I've always heard, is a medicine you don't want to be on for a long period of time.
Yeah. So prednisone, which is an anti-inflammatory, and prednisone works remarkably well, but you don't want to be on prednisone for a long period of time. Exactly.
One of the side effects.
So if you have an autoimmune problem, you might take prednisone early on to get rid of inflammation and swelling, but ultimately you want to end up on something else, like an Otezla, which is a fairly safe drug. Humira, for instance, is used for a multitude of autoimmune deficiencies.
But prednisone, one of the side effects is it makes you put on weight, which I put on weight naturally.
Or like water retention.
Right.
Yeah.
But also there's this puffy face syndrome or this round face swelling that could be a side effect. They call it moon face.
Moon face. Yeah, I've heard that now that you say that, moon face. But Amy Schumer finally, with people questioning what's going on, but you have to assume that if you are an actor like she is and a comedian, that people know what you look like. And if there's a drastic change, it's almost like you have to address it. And if you don't address it, then, you got to expect that there's going to be a lot of speculation about it. Whenever I talk about Amy Schumer, and I'm not trying to pile on here, and I feel bad for her. The fact that she has an autoimmune issue, I truly feel for her. I hope that she's able to, work her way through it. But I can't talk about Amy Schumer without the story from this real estate agent buddy of mine up in Manhattan, who will remain nameless, but guy I know is a fairly prevalent real estate agent for a large, well-known New York City real estate company, and was showing to a client Amy Schumer's apartment on the Upper West Side. So Amy Schumer, this goes back, I think, 7-8 years ago, and Amy Schumer was trying to unload an Upper West Side apartment, and the real estate agent walks in with the client to show the apartment and said the place was an unmitigated disaster, that it was just gross. It was like food containers, food wrappers just littered all over the place. But the funny aspect, they walk into like the bedroom, there are sex toys like all over the floor on her nightstand.
Hey, man. Good for Amy.
Again.
Eating good, feeling good, taking care of herself. Yeah, she has a moon face.
That's a story that I was told some years ago that, you think a big celebrity and, hey, they can be just as gross as just regular people,
Just regular people.
Out of an episode of Cops or something,
So those people obviously bought the apartment. They're like,
no, I don't know. I don't know if they bought. This was just a showing, and Amy Schumer was not there. But
you tell this owner if they can throw in this rabbit here, I'll take it.
No, listen. Amy Schumer clearly knew that her apartment was going to be shown. So why would you leave it in absolute utter disgust and disarray with sex toys littering the apartment bedroom floor and nightstand? Well, why would you do that?
Put them in a dresser, Amy. People are coming over.
That's some crazy stuff. It's insane. So, folks, if you haven't heard Froggy and Roxanne, well, you're very observant. You're very astute. Froggy was here until about 7 o'clock this morning. Froggy left. He wasn't feeling well. He apparently chunkulated a few times in the bathroom, and he was out yesterday. Put in 25% of the show today.
So he was going to duck out during a commercial break and not tell you. He was like giving me like the hand gesture, like pointing to himself and pointing to the door. And I'm like, no, jackass, you stay. You tell him. I'm not going to tell him you're ducking out. So he eventually told you. And then Roxanne, apparently, she sent us a text yesterday, kind of in the early evening, that she's only available today until 8:10. She has some kind of...
I think she's got a doctor's appointment or something. Okay. Yeah. So... I don't know what the story is. All right, 8:39 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105 as I got to prioritize because I've got too much stuff to get to, and we don't have enough time. We've got, really about an hour and 10 minutes left before we shut things down for the week. I got a couple of things I want to roll by you, the MJ Morning Show audience. Got a question regarding forks.
Forks.
Yeah. This is, and I want to roll this by our listeners and see if we can maybe drum up a couple of phone calls here. What is the proper way to use a fork? And there are certain eaters that use a fork a certain way, and it bothers me. I have like a visceral reaction when I see people use a fork. I'm talking about an eating utensil, a fork, in a certain way. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm trying to think of different ways you can use a fork.
So are you an upside eater or are you a backward eater?
I am upside. Tines pointing toward you,
right?
Concaved in.
So the top of the fork,
yes,
is how you feed yourself.
Yes, right.
Same thing. So with me, when I see people do the backward fork eating, where they'll use the fork and they'll like spear a piece of chicken or a piece of steak, and then they eat it in a backward fashion. You know what I'm talking about?
Very cavemanish if they use utensils.
So the back of the fork faces you, let's say, across the table.
Where it's more of a jabbing of the food instead of
well, it's like a jab, and then you feed yourself, and it's kind of the fork is, the backside of the fork is facing other people. I hate that.
Yeah. I
hate the backward fork eating. I don't know what it is, but it pisses me off. It angers me. So what is, Fester, I meant to look this up, but what is the proper way to eat with a fork? Is it right side up or is it upside down?
So I just typed into Google, backward fork eaters.
Yeah.
And the first thing that popped up is a question on a forum.
These forking eaters?
Why do people from England eat with their fork upside down?
Is that where it started?
I mean, I don't know.
It's like Henry VIII or something. Where'd this start?
It was King Louis. King Louis.
No, but serious. I mean, what percentage of people are like upside fork eaters versus the backside fork eaters? I want to go to the fork and phones right now.
Let's go.
800. This is the stuff that keeps me up at night. But I recently, while out, and I made a note about this because I was at a restaurant.
Was it the Olive Garden? Was it Valentine's Day?
It was, as a matter of fact.
It's the last restaurant I think you went to.
The booth right across from me, the guy was backward fork eating.
What was he eating?
I think it was a ravioli thing.
Oh, that's a convenient one to backward fork because you stab each ravioli.
I just don't like it. I hate it. It just pisses me off. It's just awkward. It angers me. I like using a fork and you use it like a scoop and you feed yourself with the fork facing up versus the people that spear the food and then they feed themselves with the fork, backward. I don't like that. All right, let's go to the fork and phones right now. If you'd like to weigh in on this, and which way do you eat? I gotta believe it's a small percentage of people that eat with the fork facing what I think is the non-natural way. It's like an unnatural fork act. All right.
I mean,
800-990-1047. Let's grab a couple calls on this thing. Man, the things that keep me awake at night, folks. 800-990-1047. Look, every line. Every single line has jammed up here. And I think we've described this well. I think people know exactly what I'm talking about. You grab a fork, you get your food on the fork, and you kind of just, feed yourself with the fork on a normal horizontal plane, and you just roll the fork into your mouth like it's an upside shovel. All right? Whereas the people that use the weird fork tactic is they spear the fork, they spear the food with the fork, and then they feed themselves like backward.
Like they're eating off of a mini trident or something, just stabbing the food and eating it. Yeah.
I don't like that. All right, let me grab phones on this. Every single phone line is jammed up here. Dave is in Tampa on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Dave. Welcome.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
So, I think it's a dexterity thing because just like I think the chopsticks is the ultimate dexterity. You got to know how to hold something. Same thing with a fork. You hold it a certain way where it goes between one finger. It's kind of graceful. Where some people don't have that dexterity and I think they got to hold it a certain way or they were never taught when they were younger. Same thing like eating mouth open, mouth closed kind of thing. I think it all ties in together.
All comes down to dexterity.
And it could be like a mental disability thing, like a little bit of something that, zapping all the way to the fingers.
Hold on. Dave, are you saying that the person sitting across from MJ at Olive Garden eating raviolis had mental issues?
It's like very slight, it's the same way of like how people, dribble a basketball or, play with the drumsticks, or you could do that thing with your pen that some people can't do, like play like a baton. Like I can't do that, but I can unplug something with one hand, like from the extension cord, and be like, how did you do all with one hand? It's because I don't know, I got a little more dexterity in some fingers than others. Is my take on it.
Dave, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right, so before I go back to phones, I found a plastic fork in the back of the studio here. It's in the wrapper, and I just want to demonstrate on MJ TV exactly what I'm talking about. So if I'm eating my food... Oh, Fester, you've got...
Yeah,
Fester,
Andrew brought in some plasticware here as well.
I found this in the back. All right, so Fester's got a fork as well. So right now on MJ TV, I just want to show you this. So this is the way I eat. I pick up my food with the fork, and I feed myself like this. What I'm talking about are the people that will cut their steak, and they'll stab the meat, and they feed themselves like this. So I'm demonstrating
that really works
this.
well on the radio.
But we're on
understand.
MJT. We have thousands and thousands of people that view us on MJTV every day.
We all get what you're talking about.
So if you want to take a look, you go to mjmorningshow.com. You click on MJTV. And, of course, it's too late to watch us. Well, no, because on the stream, you can roll it back.
Yeah, you can watch it. Yeah.
So you can go to mjmorningshow.com whenever you want. You click on MJTV on the nav bar on the top, and then you can watch us streaming live during the 6 to 10 show Monday through Friday. Or you can always click and then roll the video back. And then, of course, after the show, every single show is archived. So you can go back and watch today's show later tonight or tomorrow or Sunday or whatever. Anyway, so on MJTV, I just demonstrated. I hate the backward fork eating, man. It just drives me freaking nuts. Let me grab Ron in Seminole. Ron, you're on the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning. Long-time listener.
Yep.
So I eat it right, what I call right side up. I'm right-handed, but I cannot use a fork in my right hand for some reason, so I'm a left-handed fork eater. But I did know a girl that she ate it what I call upside down.
Yeah.
I asked her why. And she said there was a time that she was eating and she jabbed the roof of her mouth with the fork, so that had turned her off. That just totally turned her mind off of eating it right with the fork the right way.
What the hell was she doing with the fork? Was she like OJ'd her mouth?
Yeah, I asked her. I said, was somebody trying to steal your food? You're shoveling it in so fast. What? I couldn't make sense as to how you jab the top of your roof of your mouth.
So that turned her against like normal upside fork eating.
She had a traumatic fork incident.
Thank you. Melissa is next on the MJ Morning Show. Melissa, welcome to the broadcast. Go ahead.
Hey, I wanted to call and let you know, I think it depends on what you're eating. So, like, I eat upside down with my fork if I'm eating steak and, like, I have to cut the steak. I cut with the fork upside down, but if I'm eating anything other than that, I use the fork like normal people.
All right, so it's food dependent. You're an upside down fork user when it comes to steak.
Yeah. So
what about chicken or a pork chop?
Yeah. If anything I have to cut,
All
I
right.
feel like I eat with the fork upside down.
Interesting.
But then if I'm eating anything else, I eat right side up.
All right, thank you, Melissa. Todd is in Clearwater. Todd, MJ Morning Show, you're next. Hi, Todd.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I've been to Europe. I've been to Kiev, Prague, Donetsk region, Mariupol, and they eat with the fork upside down.
Yeah.
I never knew that because I was always taught to eat with it upside.
Yeah.
But they eat with it upside down over there, and they get offended if you eat with it right side up, as you call it.
Those boorish Americans. How dare they? Todd, thanks for the call. Susie in St. Pete. Susie, MJ Morning Show, you're up. Hi.
Hi, good morning, MJ.
Hey there.
Hey, I've always associated people that upside down fork eating from being in prison.
Why?
They're hunched over and they stab their food. You know, they're like protecting their food, leaning over their plate and stabbing it.
Did you see that like in Shawshank or something?
I saw it there. I saw it, I see it on TV. They hunch over their plate and they're protecting their food.
Interesting.
And, yeah.
Thank you, Susie. Have a great weekend. Jessica, two more, Andrew, and I got to move on here because we're about to end an hour and 20 minutes plus of nonstop MJ. Jessica Largo, MJ Morning Show. Hey, Jessica.
Hi, how are you?
What's up?
I am glad I'm listening to you all the time, but I get so upset when I go to the restaurant. First of all, I was taught, I grew up in South America and Chile, and we got classes, how to put the silverware in the side, how to use the fork, when to use it, when.
All right, so Jessica, in Chile, how do they teach you to eat? Fork upside or the fork upside down?
Well, when you cut, you cut, and then you turn it over, you grab it with the right hand, you help with the knife to put the food on it, and then you grab it and you eat with the right hand. With the proper way, like you said, but there are some people, they grab the whole fork with the whole hand, like they are grabbing a tool.
Oh, that's another thing. The people that like grab the fork like they fist it.
Right,
They're fork and fisting, man.
They're fisting their fork.
I wish they will have a school. I will open a school for the kids in America to teach them how to eat.
I think that's a great business model.
On the table.
Hey, Jessica, great phone call. I appreciate you listening.
You open that school, MJ will do commercials for you. Yes.
Hi, it's MJ for Right Way Fork Academy. All right, last call on this, and then I got to move on. Dallas and Tampa, final say on backward fork users that drive me crazy.
So what it is we're all used to the American etiquette where we cut it and then we eat it upside the normal way that we always think. But in Europe, they have the European etiquette, which is the way that we see everything. You can really see it when, like, Gordon Ramsay tests people's dish. And
he does that. That's right.
Right. Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
I never noticed
That's
it.
right.
But yeah.
He's a backward fork eater. Oh, man.
And then the other etiquette, which Susie was talking about, is called prison etiquette, where you grip the whole and fork with your hand because you hover over your plate, and anyone that comes to, like, take your food, you either elbow them with one way or you stab them with a fork.
Yeah, you stab them in the eyeball with it. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate the call, Dallas.
No problem.
Wow. Dallas is very cultured. He knew about Europe, and he knew about prison.
My bizarre observations certainly trigger a crap load of phone calls, don't they?
I'll tell you what, man. All right. Did you confront the guy at Olive Garden? Did you say, hey, listen,
I'm just waiting now. I'm just waiting. Next time I'm out, that the people that are listening to the show, if they like, Michelle and I might head out to dinner tonight, and I wonder if anyone is gonna just for the hell of it, use the fork the backward way because they heard about it on the show. If they recognize me later tonight, if that's the case, I'll shoot some video.
Well, now that I know that it pisses you off, I will only eat that way around.
At 8:53 at the MJ Morning Show. And now to over an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. When we get back, I've got the 910 must-hear story. Now, I teased this yesterday. There's an observation that I made in my neighborhood. Is this a sign of the times? Man, these neighbors appeared to be just gung-ho and all in. But I noticed a 180-degree shift. Something in my neighborhood, I've walked by this house every single day for a couple of years, doing my daily walks. And I've always noticed this. And then suddenly, recently, big change. What's going on? What happened? Sign of the times? What is it? I will make the mystery clear coming up in the next segment here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Stand by. 9:03 at the MJ Morning Show on a Friday as we enter the final hour of our broadcast week. And just for planning purposes, President's Day is Monday, and we are here. Yeah, we're doing a live show this Monday. We're not off for President's Day. I mean, gee, I just took 2 weeks off to go scuba diving in Indonesia. Like, I'm really going to take I never take President's Day off.
So, apparently today in Hillsborough County schools is fair day for a lot of schools. So there's no school in a large part of the county.
Yeah.
I think
is that the whole county, or
I think it's just the eastern part of the county, because I think western kids get a day off for a strawberry festival. But my wife drives the kid to school today, and nobody's there.
Oh, wait a sec. What?
My wife.
Why are you just telling me this now?
I just found out during the commercial break. I didn't talk to my wife this morning. She leaves at 7:20 when we start that segment, and we were on the radio for an hour and a half.
Well, hold on. Your wife, Allison, had no idea your kids didn't have school today?
Yeah, she's with Hudson.
She's driving your kids to school, and it's like a ghost town?
Yeah, she sends me a picture of the front of the school, and I didn't check my texts during that segment. I got 200 texts during that segment, and some of them were for her. She's like, hey, do the kids have school today? And so, no. So my wife is out with the kid today. No school. They expect us to take him to the fair, which we're not going to do.
So what, it's Hillsborough County State Fair now? Is that what's going on?
The Florida State Fair? The big one? The big Florida State Fair? Goes,
at the fairgrounds in Hillsborough County, whatever it's called. Yeah. I've never been there.
You didn't know the fair's going on right now?
I have never been. I've been here.
Oh, now we got to go.
I have been in the Tampa Bay area since 1994. I have never been to the Florida State Fair. I've never been.
We have got to go.
Now, Michelle has taken Hey, let me get Michelle on the phone. Hold on 1 second.
How could you never have been to the fair?
I've never been.
I mean, I've never been. I think I went like in 2019 is the last time I might have went.
I've never gone.
But
I've been to the Strawberry Festival, I think once, and that was like work-related.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah.
Fester can't believe I've never been to the Florida State Fair.
You suck.
Yeah, right? What? Andrew, you'd love it. All the crazy food.
Oh, my gosh. Fester's so right. Every year, so Hillsborough County has All-Fair Fair Day, and our kids would always have parent-teacher conference day, like right around the first day of the fair. And so I would make my conference for very early in the morning, so we'd go over there and do that, and then we would go to the fair.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to call you about, is because you always took our kids to the Florida State Fair. But do you realize?
So fun.
Do you realize I've never been to the Florida State Fair?
You're missing out.
You really are.
Oh my gosh, you've no idea what's going on over there.
Okay, you don't need to go every year. Okay, those.
No.
But every third year or it's just a cool.
But you know what?
Cool
Chester,
thing.
when the kids were little, you go until they're tired, and so you could go every year because every year you're doing something different, and you're not staying like all day until it's dark like a maniac, right? So we would go, and then when the kids started getting tired and needed a little something, then I'm like, all right, time to go. We'd get in the car, they'd fall asleep on the way home.
We gotta go, MJ. Let's go this weekend. It's gonna rain this weekend.
Longhorn for dinner.
I'm actually popping out of town tomorrow for 12 hours.
Really?
I am.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you get to have some pizza with your son in the city, Boo.
Yeah, I'm flying out. Hey, I didn't talk about this yet, but what the hell?
Well, let's not talk about it.
What?
It's a secret.
Oh, well, listen, I've opened up the door here, so I'm flying.
See Julian for the day. Okay, let's say goodbye. That's all you gotta say.
Bye.
That's all you have to say.
Listen, I'm flying in. No, I'm not gonna say why. I've got some business to take care of.
Right.
And I'm flying up to Manhattan tomorrow morning at like 7 a.m. And then I'm coming back tomorrow night at like 8 p.m. So I'm literally going to be up in Manhattan tomorrow for like 12 hours.
Not even
10 hours.
You're going to be in Manhattan for, Yeah,
I'm flying up quickly and I'm flying right back. So New York tomorrow morning and I'm back tomorrow night.
Yeah, actually you'll be in Manhattan for even less hours because I think the airport is not technically...
Yeah, well, LaGuardia, and I'm flying into LaGuardia, but I'm leaving from JFK.
Right. So
and
technically, you're in Manhattan for even less.
Well, yeah, but it's all New York City.
I'm just trying to get you all, correct and proper.
It's all New York City, and it's Manhattan is the island of Manhattan, and then of course you've got Queens and Brooklyn.
All right, what is this, a geography lesson?
And Staten Island.
Apparently, it's turning into that, Michelle,
and the Bronx.
No.
So, but I am going to get pizza tomorrow.
I know you are.
On the way to JFK. I think I'm going to double team it. I think I'm going to I know I'm going to Luigi's Pizza. Luigi's on Fifth Avenue in Brooklyn is just an amazing New York slice. Gio inherited it from his dad. And if you're looking for a really amazing New York slice, it's Luigi's Pizza, Fifth Avenue in Brooklyn, one of my absolute faves. Yeah. And then also, since I'm leaving from JFK, I'm going to swing by New Park Pizza, which is right near JFK as well.
How about this? How about I send you with some Ziplocs and some wax paper, and you can swing by John's of Bleecker and get me a pie.
I can do that as well. John's on Bleecker is phenomenal as well in Manhattan. Hi, Michelle.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
So I'm hopping up to New York for some quick business tomorrow, so I'm in and out, but I'm also going to be shoving my face with phenomenal pizza.
What's today's date?
Today is the 16th.
Okay, so Monday the 19th is the last day of the fair. Let's go after the show.
On the 19th? Monday?
Yeah. The show, because today's the 17th, 18th, the weekend. Monday the 19th is the last day. After the show, let's go to the fair. We'll eat some fried butter, some funnel cakes. You'd love it.
I'm not eating fried butter and funnel cakes. No.
Oh, it's like you feel yourself dying a little bit when when you eat it, but it's
you feel yourself dying.
Yeah,
That's great.
But you actually feel.
Yeah. I want to go to the Florida State Fair, eat some of the crazy, ridiculous food items, which they really designed just to get media attention. I mean, it's attention whoring is what it is.
You get a corn dog, a 2-foot corn dog. How good would that be?
Whatever.
Think about it. Monday after the show, we'll go. Your treat.
I might have something to do Monday after the show.
Yeah, go to the fair with me.
No, I might have something else to do. All right, 9:10 at the MJ Morning Show. Every morning at 9:10, I've got the must-hear story. And this is a neighborhood observation. Is this a sign of the times? I almost want, as a follow-up, to knock on these people's door and kind of ask them, so, what's going on? I mean, it's something I would do, right?
Yeah, that sounds exactly what you would do.
Walk my neighborhood every day. I walk 2 miles on the weeknights. I walk 5 miles on the weekends. I won't be doing that tomorrow because I'm heading up to Manhattan for 10 hours tomorrow. But in my neighborhood, on my, well, it's not my street exactly. It's a street that's off of my street. And I have noticed now for a couple of years that, and I call them Mr. and Mrs. Tesla, because they had his and her Teslas in the driveway. And I would see they had like a couple of chargers on the outside of the garage, and their Teslas would always be, plugged in the driveway. Guess what?
What?
Teslas are gone. Yeah. So both the husband and wife had a Tesla. They had the model, is it the X?
Yeah.
The X with the doors that fold up?
Yes.
So they had a Model X, and then also, I think, a Model S.
Ooh, that's a bigger car.
But guess what?
Both of them are gone?
Gone. I even took a picture. I can show this to MJ TV.
What do I need a picture of their empty driveway?
No. I took a picture of the new cars.
Oh.
Yeah. So, the question, yes, it is. So Andrew just said, hey, is the charger still on the house? And it is. Listen, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to show you right now. So, that's the fettuccine Alfredo. Hold on a minute. That's the fettuccine Alfredo from Olive Garden.
Doesn't look like a car.
All right. Now, here it is. So, look. Car number 1 is a Lexus GX 460.
Okay.
It's a pretty good-sized SUV. And guess what? Car number 2 is another Lexus GX 460. They have 2 large Lexus SUVs now.
They bought 2 of the same car?
Yes. The Teslas are gone. But hang on a minute. I'm gonna change the picture. I'm showing this to MJ TV right now. I'm going to change the picture, and you can see the green light. You can see the Tesla charging unit on the side of the garage. That's still there. But they ditched their Teslas. They're gone.
Maybe these people are just weirdos that goes to the car store every year and a half or so and both get a car. Who buys 2 of the same car?
Dude, what I'm saying is that they were all in on rechargeable Tesla electric cars, and now I've walked by their driveway in their house for a couple of years, and I always, look, Mr. and Mrs. Tesla, they're both home. They're both plugged in. And now the Teslas are gone. And on last night's walk, I'm like, now they've got Lexus SUVs.
That's a nice SUV.
Yeah, I mean, they're nice. And what does that mean? Do they get sick and tired of the Teslas? Did they have range anxiety? Were they worried about finding a supercharger if they were going on road trips? But now they went from all in his and hers electric Teslas. Now they're back to his and hers Lexus SUVs. So I just
GX 460s. Wow.
But is that is this a sign? Because we hear that the whole electric car market, it's cooling off. And you have, some of the big companies and the CEOs are recognizing that, we've kind of hit peak electric. And the bulk of Americans don't want electric cars at this point. Well, first of all, with the big, huge cold snaps across the country, you had people where their cars were dead.
The battery froze up.
And they couldn't even charge them. It was so cold that they couldn't even get their car to even take a charge. I remember up in Chicago, you had people coming off of airplanes going to the long-term parking lots to grab their electric cars, and they're dead. Nice. And, you have the range issue. Listen, the big game changer for electric cars. Listen, if you're rolling around town and you're not in a cold climate, and you're rolling around town.
I live in Florida, drive around town.
You're going to work back and forth, and you want to just plug in your vehicle at your house overnight. That's not a major issue. But if you're going on a long road trip, who the hell wants to hunt down a supercharger and wait like 45 minutes for your car to fully charge? The game changer for electric vehicles is going to be when the superchargers are everywhere. You don't have to wait in line. That was another thing. People waiting in line for 2 hours in order to charge their car. What the hell?
This is the same argument they gave 120 years ago to indoor plumbing. Who wants to poop inside?
Get out of here.
You have to wait in line.
That's not true.
First, you have to find a toilet inside.
Right, listen.
Let's just poop outside.
No, that's ridiculous.
That's okay. It's an emerging technology. It's okay.
The issue is as follows. When the superchargers are everywhere and you can pull into like a supercharging electric station and you can recharge your car fully in about 4 to 4.5 minutes, which is the average fill-up time for a internal combustion engine vehicle with a 20-gallon tank, it's about 4 to 4.5 minutes to fill up your car. When you can charge your electric car that fast, fully, that's when things change. But if you talk to some folks in the automotive world, some of the big executives, like I know like BMW, for instance, they feel that the future is hydrogen. And that hydrogen is really going to be the long-term solution to replace the internal combustion engine. And hydrogen, you can go to a hydrogen station and quickly fill up your tank, or maybe you have quick exchange hydrogen canisters that you would go to a station, you take yours out, it's like
a barbecue grill,
like a propane tank.
Swap it out?
You swap it out. That could be an answer. But a lot of the high-end car companies, especially BMW, they're looking at hydrogen as the real answer. And they don't see, from what I hear, and I've heard some inside chatter over at BMW, that they don't foresee electric to be the long-term solution, that it's going to be hydrogen vehicles.
So maybe after these folks get rid of their Lexuses in a couple of years, they'll be the hydrogen.
You know what? I got to do a follow-up on this. I got to knock on these people's front door and say, hey, notice that your Teslas are both gone.
Can you leave these nice people alone?
Your Charger's still on the side of the house with your little green light going on. But now you guys have two Lexus SUVs. What's going on here? What happened to the Teslas?
From the zero-emission cars to 2 emission burping SUVs. I mean, they went from one polar end to the other.
Yeah, so what caused them to do that? That's the question. There you go. The 910 must-hear story on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Speaking of vehicles, the House bill has passed, making the left lane passing only. So we have an update. The Florida House has passed the left lane user bill. Now, there are some left lane laws on the books, but this changes things. So the Florida House has passed this. It now goes on to the Florida Senate. And then, of course, the governor would need to sign it into law if, in fact, the Senate follows the Florida House in passing this.
So this has been something that we've all seen on the road for a long time. Who's going to enforce this? The state troopers just going to be pulling people over who talking.
Who's going to enforce it?
But I can't imagine the state troopers are going to be taking their time to be pulling every slowpoke over in the left lane.
Lyft drivers, of course, law enforcement's going to enforce this.
How enforceable is this going to be? How much?
Ice cream trucks. Yes.
Like you see a lot of ice cream trucks. I see more ice cream trucks on the interstate than I do state troopers these days.
Well, and listen, I've been saying this for a long time. First of all, they need to pay our state troopers more. Our state troopers are grossly underpaid in Florida, and we don't have enough state troopers. So I fully support more troopers and higher pay. So here's the deal. The Florida House, they passed a bill that would make driving in the left lane unlawful, illegal. The only way you should be in the left lane is if you're passing another driver. And this would be for roads that have a speed limit of 65 or higher. So that would be the major interstates, the turnpike here in the state of Florida, etc. And if you were caught just dawdling and lollygagging in the left lane, you could be pulled over and cited with a moving violation. So it's House Bill 317. It passed the Florida House 113-3, and now it goes on to the Senate. And then if that happens, it would be signed into law by the governor. So again, the difference, you're like, aren't there already laws about left lanes? Yes. But this would be you could only be in the left lane unless you're passing another driver. Now, the way things stand now, the left lane law that's on the books now is that you can stay in the left lane as long as nobody is driving faster than you. Yeah, that's Florida Statute 316.081, and that requires drivers to move out of the left lane if a faster-moving vehicle is coming up behind them. Failure to do so is a non-criminal moving violation, but doesn't stop you from cruising there otherwise. So the difference is the new legislation, if it is signed into law, is you can't be in the left lane unless you're passing. So I'm a right lane driver. If I'm on the interstate and I'm doing a little bit above the speed limit or, I always, if I can sit in the right lane, if I'm heading down 75 to Alligator Alley, whatever, I'm sitting in the right lane as much as I possibly can.
We had a trip you don't even remember this, but we had a trip once down to Fort Myers, and I was driving, and you're like, stay in the right lane. And you said something like, cops aren't looking in that lane. They're focused more on the left lane speeders. If there's a speed trap in the median, they're looking at left lane people, not right lane people.
Typically, that's the case.
Yeah.
Yep. So 9:22 at the MJ Morning Show. Final chunk of the MJ Morning Show is next. A lot of loose ends. Man, there's a story about a raw chicken eater that is like tempting. What do you mean? That's appealing to you?
No,
raw chicken?
That was a of disgust, not a of
also,
pleasure.
You hear what Krabby Bill's doing?
Serving raw chicken?
No.
Good.
Krabby Bill's is not serving raw
Krabby
chicken.
Bill's. That's a good place.
Remember Roy's?
The place on Boy Scout?
On Boy Scout. Yeah. Roy's is gone. The Hawaiian food concept Roy's. Man, I once ordered some kind of chicken satay and take a bite into it. It was freaking raw.
Oh, Roy.
Oh, my God. I had raw Roy's.
Ugh.
Yeah. I'm not into raw chicken.
Yeah, I'm not into medium rare chicken.
Hang on. I'll discuss the raw chicken guy. You got to hear this. And a whole lot more next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Stand by. When it comes to garage... Guy's a maniac.
Barbra Streisand.
No, not Barbra Streisand. The raw chicken eater. Hey, I'll get to the raw chicken eating dude. I mean, this guy's like playing with fire, and I'll explain in just a matter of moments here on the MJ Morning Show. 9:31. It's MJ and Fester. Froggy went home sick. Roxanne had, I think, a doctor's appointment. She fled the building at 8:10 this morning. So it's the MJ and Fester show.
Yeah, we're doing what we can, people.
Yeah. I just saw that Taylor Swift is donating $100,000 to the family of Lisa Lopez Galvan. She was the mother of two and the community radio DJ in Kansas City that was killed during the shootout at the Chiefs' celebratory event after winning the Super Bowl. I mean, insanity. And I've been complaining like all week long. It's like, what's going on here? Why haven't they released a motive? Finally, yesterday, the Kansas City police, they said that the shootout was a dispute between two people.
That's a lot of bullets for 2 people.
22 people shot, 1 killed. Half of the kids, like 11 were kids between the ages of like 5 or 6 and 11 years old. It's like, what? A dispute between 2 people and that kind of hail of bullets? What the hell?
That's awful. That's awful.
This is insane. Anyway, Taylor Swift is donating $1,000. You know, I was wondering if that was going to happen. I was wondering if she was going to step up, or also the Chiefs. Exactly.
Absolutely.
The Chiefs themselves, are they going to step up, offer to pay for the funeral? I got to believe they will. You know, the other thing, and it's so sad, but I would imagine that you might have Chiefs players, maybe even Mahomes himself, or Travis Kelce show up at the funeral. This woman was a diehard Chiefs fan. She's at the celebratory parade and event, and she gets shot in the abdomen, and she dies just trying to celebrate the Chiefs' back-to-back Super Bowl win. It's abhorrent. It's unbelievable.
I mean, do they honor her next year some way by putting her initials on the helmet or on the field or something?
Or maybe starting a Chief scholarship.
Something.
Something. A GoFundMe has been started, but Taylor Swift, and you know that she had to kind of do something. You know that people were just waiting to see if Taylor Swift would step up, or are the Chiefs going to step up, or, will Chiefs players go to this woman's funeral?
Taylor is very charitable to every town she visits. I mean, even when she came to Tampa, I think she donated like $100,000 to the local food bank, and she did that to every town she had her concert in. So it's great work.
Listen, she's making
it's not the point.
Tens and tens of millions of dollars a concert.
None of that's the point.
Oh no, it's a nice gesture. I'm not taking that away from her. I'm not the biggest fan, but
I know.
I'm not taking that away.
We all know you're not the biggest fan.
But it is nice that she's donating money. But I think that people probably expected that. And she stepped up. All right, the raw chicken eater. Now, believe it or not, there is such a thing as raw chicken sashimi.
Okay.
And I think it's done by experts, and I think it's actually done in Japan. But I know I've read about this, raw chicken sashimi. But that's neither here nor there. There is a guy who is, what a shocker, from right here in Florida, who is now celebrating over 26 days of consecutive raw chicken eating.
Why?
I don't know. He says he plans to eat raw chicken every single day until he gets sick or is hospitalized. What the hell's this guy doing?
I mean, your body can digest raw chicken. It can digest raw meat. It's just the germs, right? I've always heard of salmonella, right?
John, who is not sharing his last name for privacy reasons, is documenting his bizarre attempt here to eat raw chicken every single day on his Instagram page. It's called Raw Chicken Experiment.
How many followers does he have?
Oh, man. I don't know. You want to go to his...
Holy crap. How many followers do you think he has? If I told you a guy had an Instagram...
Well, you don't have to tell me. I'm looking at it right now. I'm nauseated. It's like I've got a bad case of salmonella poisoning right now. I'm scrounging to get to 16,000 followers. This guy's eating raw chicken, and he's got 410,000 followers.
You want to know what you're doing wrong on Instagram?
I'm not eating raw chicken, clearly.
That's right.
Clearly, I need to be a radio DJ eating raw chicken every single day. All right, bring up the audio on this guy.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
All right, yeah, bring this up.
Is extremely hungry this morning.
All right, hold on. Reset this. The guy's eating a raw chicken leg that he's dipping in mayonnaise. All right, go ahead, hit play.
28. Eating raw chicken every day till I get a tummy ache. My tapeworm is extremely hungry this morning.
He's dipping a raw chicken leg into a jar of mayonnaise. And he's just eating it raw. Oh, my God. This is disgusting.
Oh, my God. Oh, he's taking such a big bite of that drumstick.
I don't know what's more nauseating, the raw chicken or the globs and clumps of mayonnaise on there. And he's got a video. He's just sitting there munching down on a raw chicken leg.
Not sure if I like mayonnaise.
Not sure if he likes mayonnaise?
So every day he posts a video of him eating chicken. He only has like 26 videos on his page. 1 day for, 29 videos. One video for each day of consumption.
Yeah, apparently as of yesterday, it was 26 days of raw chicken eating. And he's going to do it until he gets sick. 2 years ago, he video blogged about eating raw meat at Whole Foods every day till I die from bacteria. He got bored after 200 days.
It's a long time to eat raw meat.
Yeah, his name is John. We don't know his last name. He's from Florida. I don't know where in Florida he is.
Look at him just glomming down this chicken breast.
Glomming down?
Glomming.
Is a better word. But anyway, experts on food safety say that chicken ought to be cooked to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. I cook chicken thighs. Like I'll go buy, and this is just a great lunch, just a salad and just a couple of chicken thighs, I'll buy those big chicken thigh packages at Publix, where they have like 12 or 14 chicken thighs on that big, long styrofoam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, the way to, trust me on this, folks, the way to cook chicken thighs is you want to take them up to, and you can cook the dark meat, like a thigh, at a higher temperature than white meat. Because the thigh just inherently has, more fat and more flavor than the chicken breast. So I'm telling you, you take chicken thighs, you rub them down with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and you put those things in a Pyrex dish. You put them in the oven and get to an internal temperature of 200 degrees, and they are perfect. Juicy, delicious, cooked.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The best piece of the chicken is the thigh.
It really is.
It really is.
It's so underrated. Like people, the chicken breast. And listen, I like a chicken breast. I have no issue, but if you really want to go with the flavor, for me, Fester, you agree, the thigh is the best bang for the buck.
Yes.
Look at that. Fester and I are in total thigh agree. Speaking of food, Krabby Bill's. I don't know if I've ever been to Krabby Bill's.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, you know what? I'm making some serious revelations today. I've been in the Tampa Bay market since 1994.
Krabby Bill's is an institution.
I know it is. I've never been to the Florida State Fair, and I don't think I've ever been to Krabby Bill's. Now, Krabby Bill's is making news because they are adding a 10% service fee on every check now.
Wow.
Thoughts?
I mean, is that in place of a tip, or is that to pay for the folks who are like in the back of the house, like the cook or the people who don't get tips?
Saw this on Channel 8's website. The original Krabby Bill's, which is in Indian Rocks Beach, they have introduced a new labor model. They are adding a 10% service fee on every check to help pay for the workers' hourly wages, insurance, and benefits. The original Krabby Bill's said that it made the change because its workers are earning more pay from their hourly wage. Does that make sense? That's what I'm reading.
A larger percentage of their income is coming from that?
Yeah, in 2020, a referendum on Florida's minimum wage was voted on. The restaurant said, as a result of that, hourly wages that are separate from tips have and will continue to significantly increase every year. A section of the restaurant's website has been dedicated to the new labor model and explains that customers' checks will now show suggested tip amounts of 8, 10, and 12%. So they're adding the 10% service fee, and then there's going to be an additional tip line. It's like Bern's Steakhouse. Bern's Steakhouse forever adds 12%. So you go to Bern's Steakhouse, and it's amazing that people don't realize this, and they tip a full 20% on top of the 12%. It's a very high percentage of people don't even realize
Don't
it.
even look at the bill
But
that way.
Burns forever has had a 12% service fee. And what I do is I know the servers that we have when we go to Burns, and I typically, with the 12% already there, I just generally add another 10% is what I do. But Krabby Bill, some people are upset. I'm not a fan. On a wholesale level, I'm not a fan of mandatory added service. I do ultimately believe that a service charge automatically added, it kind of takes away, my flexibility as a consumer to reward good service. So what if the service sucked? And I'm talking any restaurant here. What if the service wasn't good and they're putting a mandatory service fee on the bill? It should, service and tipping should be at my discretion. And I'm a good tipper. If I get good service, it's a minimum of 20%. So
they're disclosing it up front. There's certainly, I've heard of restaurants, not telling anybody at all, and then the people finding it on their bill. Looks like they have a sign on every table. So if you have a problem with it, don't
listen,
go.
I'm not bitching at Krabby Bill's. I'm not getting crabby at Krabby.
Well,
I'm not crabbing up the crab.
You've had Krabby Bills, then when we were down the road, the Loader family would come in often to the radio station and bring seafood stuff. They were down there all the time.
Oh, I'm sure I've had it at the station.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've had Krabby Bill's that was brought, but I've never been to the restaurant.
All right, so we have to go to the state fair together.
And
we have to go to
Krabby Bill's with the new 10% service charge added to every check.
Hey, well, let's skip the state fair this year. We'll go next year. Let's go to Krabby Bill's right away.
And then finally, before we get out of here on a Friday, we have concert tickets to give away. We've got Styx, Foreigner, and John Waite at the amphitheater. We'll give those tickets away before we shut things down in a matter of moments. Finally, one interesting item. It's like, why did this kind of pop up? Is she desperate for attention? Did she have a new project? Sharon Stone, who was really a big thing back in the 90s? Sharon Stone, the actress Sharon Stone.
She was like the it girl for a while.
Sharon Stone is now revealing that police came to protect her during the O.J. Simpson chase. It's like, what?
Of all the people.
Yeah, why would that be?
I mean, I know O.J. had a thing for blondes, but was he ever tied to Sharon Stone in any way?
What did LAPD say? Oh, my God. Sharon Stone, there's a little bit of a similarity to Nicole Brown Simpson. We better go ahead and send units to her house to protect her. Now, this was weird. I saw this on TMZ yesterday that Sharon Stone had no connection to O.J. Simpson back in 1994, but when the Juice was in the backseat of the white Bronco and A.C. Cowlings was driving that thing on the 405, heading back to Brentwood, Sharon Stone was locked up. Cops sequestered her in a hotel room. She talked about how her fame exploded after the 1992 film Basic Instinct. And in an interview with InStyle magazine, she said that she was so big 2 years later in 94 when OJ, did the slow speed chase, that LAPD officers showed up at her door. According to Sharon Stone, while the dramatic pursuit was in progress, officers showed up at her house, told her to pack a bag in the next 10 minutes, and took her to a hotel room for sequestration. What
really?
Why? I don't understand. Why would they do that?
I don't know.
My God, the stuff 30 years later. You realize this summer, this June, it's going to be 30 years of the O.J. Simpson slow speed chase.
Wow.
I remember on NBC, it was like NBA playoffs or something.
It might have been the finals. I remember watching the Knicks play.
Yeah, whatever it was, NBA playoffs or whatever it was, or on TV. And what they did, I'll never forget this. NBC Network, they had the O.J. Simpson helicopter chase. They had that on the big screen, and they shrunk the basketball game to the little box in the lower right-hand corner. Are you watching this? Is this? I think Fester just brought up.
This is live news coverage, and then you can see the Houston Rockets and the New York Knicks play.
As he takes this and just turns it over and down.
There's Hakeem Olajuwon.
Shortly after he had been
then it just cut away. I think it was Tom Brokaw. NBC News.
Oh my God!
By 9 sheriff's deputies and most of the Los Angeles news media.
They go back to the game.
I mean, and then they finally they covered the chase on the big screen, and they put the basketball game in like the corner of the screen in a little box. All right, we got to roll, folks. 9:47 at the MJ Morning Show. Let's give away the Styx with Foreigner and John Waite tickets. Saturday, July 20th at the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. Let's go with caller 30 right now, 800-990-1047. If you are the 30th caller right now, the concert tickets are yours. 800-990-1047. Folks, have a fantastic weekend. We will see you back here Monday. We are live on President's Day here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Have a special weekend, and let's be careful out there.